That's the correct response right there, Skunk. Oh, he even had a video? That's exactly right. Thank you very much. That's right, Trey. I got you guys. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, so a lot of people. So I guess she just still straight up completely restreams his stuff, right? Like no commentary. She just puts a face filter on it. I know she doesn't put up replays, and her channel's like private now or something, but she's got to be careful with that for real. Like I would hate to get like her to be tied up in legal issues with copyright. That'd be crazy. Because I think he's threatened to sue her before, but she's been real careful. Or maybe he just can't find her. You have to, for fair use to take effect, you have to be transformative to the original subject matter so much, right? That you're not a substitute for the original. Like no one would claim that I'm a substitute for just watching Phil because there's so much discourse and disagreement and commentary. If you just put a face filter on, then it's hard to argue that you transformed it. But she doesn't leave the replays up, so that's good. I'm not trying to say she's doing something wrong. That's for someone else to decide, not me. But I think that's why she made her channel private and stuff. Let me turn Discord back on streamer mode so I won't hear people bouncing in and out or whatever. Give me just a second to fix that. Server settings. Oh, it might not be on server settings. It might be on under something else. Hold on. Might be under. It's under user settings, I bet. Yeah, streamer mode enabled. There we go. I stay in a Discord channel just in case, like the mods need to get a hold of me immediately. They have the capability to do that. So, and you couldn't hear them because they're muted to your side, but at least they could yell at me. Not seeing the link posted for Rumble. You're on the Rumble channel. What do you mean? You're in the video already. Let's kill this music or roll the intro, guys. Might even fire up. It's been a long time since we streamed on Twitter. I might fire up Twitter for just a second once the intro starts. All right, guys, here we go.
Hey, everybody. It's Kim Cold here. Listen up. You guys are really mad at me because of my last broadcast. I disclosed a God dream where we were all instructed by God to subscribe to Cold Beer Confessional channel on Rumble and BitChute and Twitch and YouTube. Listen, it's not my fault. I have to disclose what I'm told by God. So don't get mad at me. If you want to do something about that, the best thing you can do is go into the comments section on his YouTube channel. Just imagine these guys are you guys going into the Will Bird's comments section and saying things like, your channel is trash, your sunglasses look ridiculous, you're not a real patriot, or, your wife can do better, just anything like that. And for those of you saying that actually that will help his channel because it will bring more engagement and it'll help the algorithms, I've already run this past Uncle Teshy. Uncle Teshy knows about algorithms, okay? There is nothing Nikola Tesla is more expert at than YouTube algorithms. And if he says it won't affect it, then it won't affect it. So I strongly suggest that you guys get into the comments section and call this guy an asshole.
Call this guy an asshole. Welcome, everybody. I'm Will Bird. This is Cold Beer Confessional. Thank you for joining us tonight. This is the show that we do on all platforms. So we'll be on Twitch, YouTube. We're even on Twitter for a minute. That's just a preview. But we're on Twitch, YouTube, Rumble, and Facebook. Typically, we only broadcast to Twitch, and that's supposed to be a Monday, Wednesday, Friday broadcast on Twitch. And then, of course, Friday, we're everywhere. I do extra stuff through the week and fill in, play games, hang out, do chats. If you're interested in that, go over to twitch.tv/coldbeerconfessional, or you can just type in coldbeer.live and it'll automatically send you there. If you're interested in supporting the show in some way, you can do that on Twitch through bits. You should be able to do that on YouTube now, but I'm not even sure if I got the alerts set up right, but I know I got the monetization set up. But you can also go to coldbeer.fund, 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 where you can use Buy Me a Coffee. I know that's a favorite. You can join our Patreon for extra content, a couple shows a week we do. You can use this older link, the Cult Club, if you prefer that. Also, if you want to donate without an alert, without everybody knowing, donate privately, or you don't want to interrupt the show, that's this small yellow button right here. We have a brand new, well, it's not brand new now, I guess. We have a new donation link we're using called DonoClip. It's a little more personalized. It's $5 just like Buy Me a Coffee, and you can record an audio or video clip and send it in, and it won't charge you unless it's played. So let's say by chance you don't understand like Twitch's terms of service and you say something in there the moderators don't approve, you won't even be charged. You can just redo another one and send it in. You're only charged once it plays, and I make sure I go through and play all those. And I think it uses, most people do it through PayPal. But that is DonoClip. You can find that at coldbeer.fund just by clicking on Shitpost on Stream with Us at DonoClip. It's a pretty cool app. We now got they're a brand new app, and they're coming out with new features now, like favorites and searching and making the ability to search and favorite to make like giant mega cuts of like Ramesh or somebody donating. We also have the merch shop if you're interested. That's got t-shirts, stickers. We got a new t-shirt design that should be coming out soon. It's going to be a limited run, limited edition. We talked about it the other night. I asked the patrons about it. They seem really excited. I'll have more info on it later, but it's going to be like a custom-made grunge limited runs. And we may do that more often. You'll just have to be around to find out. If this one does well, we may do that more often with a different stencil. So we'll see. Either way, check that out. You can also follow me on any of these platforms. They're all listed on coldbeer.fun. I got Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Telegram, Facebook, TikTok, Rumble, and Discord. We're actually on Twitter right now, just for a preview of the show. But if you want to come join us, I'll drop the link over on Twitter to Twitch underneath this post. If you happen to see it, the link will be underneath this post, and you can come join us now. So what's up, guys? I guess the elephant in the room. There was apparently a lot of people over there watching Phil or whatever to join us for the rest of the show. Go to www.coldbeer.live or twitch.tv/Cold Beer Confessional. Basically, I'm Cold Beer Confessional about everywhere. And coldbeer.live, if you happen to type it in, it just goes to Twitch for Cold Beer Confessional. So it's pretty easy to find me on most platforms, including all these platforms up here: Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Telegram, Facebook, TikTok, Rumble, and Discord. Discord, you have to have a link. There's just way too many Discords, and it's not really searchable. But everywhere else, you can just search for Cold Beer Confessional, and you can find me. Cold Beer Confess, Cold Beer Confessional, Cold Beer Confessions, depending on where I'm at and how many characters they allow. So follow me on those places. That way you won't miss me. There's something I want to, before we're obviously going to hop into some Phil content. You know, he's got a new house. He did a new show finally tonight. But before we get that, I was reminded a few nights ago about, what was this on? This was on Thursday. And let me go check this out. There's actually a YouTube video I want to grab first. I've been told it's very funny, and I forgot to watch it earlier today. But now would be as good a time as any. These are some regulars we cover. This would be Rhino Nation and Big Daddy Don. Rhino Nation 8 over on YouTube, and his special guest, Big Daddy Don. Let me see if I can grab it. They told me to watch the last 30 minutes of last night's show. Is this the one from Thursday? Hold on. Posted 23 hours ago. Yes, that would be the live stream from Thursday. So let me grab that, and I'll throw it over here. Today is Friday, right? Oh, if you're interested in my personal life, the kids had award day today, and Liam got a couple of awards. I can't remember exactly. Oh, A and B honor roll was one of them, and the other one was like most improved, or one of the students with the most improvement in math, I believe. No. English, I can't remember, but he got 2 awards. So proud of Liam. Good job, buddy. He's also been in this competition for middle schoolers called the Amazing Shake. And typically they lean heavily towards like 8th graders making it further in this competition, because it's their last chance, and 6th graders usually get left behind. Liam's in 6th grade, but he actually made it all the way through a few rounds of it. Surprisingly, he originally didn't even make it out of the first round, but he was the top kid that didn't make it. So when one of the 8th graders dropped out, they added him in, and he made it a couple rounds. So congratulations to Liam. And Oliver, if you want an update on Oliver has improved, like I think the teacher said like 250% in like his goals on iReady, which is like the computer system they use to test. Oliver's crazy smart. He has an issue where not everybody, we understand him pretty well, but you kind of got to get used to it. It's a speech impediment, I guess, but he's supposed to grow out of that, and he's crazy smart with math and stuff. It's wild. Anyways, let's hop onto this. That's enough about my family. Let's hop onto this. Rhino might try to burn my house down with them in it. That was the original threat he made. And let's check out the last probably 30 minutes of this and see what's going on. We'll speed it up and jump around and see what happens. Apparently, Christopher Santeria was back. San Diego, something like that. Sacagawea was back. And Don was very upset about it. So these are the last 37 minutes of the show. Here we go.
Very close to the border towns that they're getting invaded now. They have a shitload of weapon caches. These people are being armed as soon as they get through the fucking gates. They're becoming armed real quick. This is all at the Biden administration. They've wanted this. They're letting it. They already paid $300.
If you believe that
Suze Buzler just resubscribed for 12 months.
Thank you very much, Suze Brexler. That's over on Twitch. Thank you for the Twitch subscription. If you believe that millions of people are crossing the border and then all of them have a weapon caches and they're immediately being armed, you're a psychopath, right? We would see a standing armory of millions of Mexicans with guns at the border. Somebody would videotape it. Like, just because something happens once or you heard a rumor or you saw somebody reported on Twitter doesn't mean it's actually taking place.
32 million of your tax money to house, comfort, and feed these motherfuckers to invade us. They have.
So what everybody's upset about is Title 42 expired, which you can only extend Title 42 so long. It was over the pandemic, right? So on Thursday, the pandemic era restrictions at the U.S.-Mexico border, they basically blocked anybody unless they had like amnesty requests beforehand. But they immediately replaced Title 42 was some new policies that were supposed to deter or prevent people from crossing the border without permission. It says in an increasingly hard line for the Biden administration, the Secretary of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas, said on Thursday evening that 24,000 Border Patrol agents and officers had been sent to the border to enforce U.S. laws, adding the border is not open. Starting tonight, people who arrive at the border without using a lawful pathway will be presumed ineligible for asylum. We are ready to humanely process and remove people without a legal basis to remain in the U.S. Now, that was what Title 42 basically did. You couldn't come here across the border and then say, I'm an asylum seeker. That was what Title 42 was doing, and that's apparently the new policy they have in place as well. The Secretary added on Friday morning, appearing on CNN, of migrants arriving at the southern border. We are taking them into custody. We are screening and vetting them. If they don't have a basis to remain, we'll remove them swiftly. Now, this is Biden's border guy, okay? Biden's border guy. Additionally, the State Department announced a new website aimed at informing immigrants how to access legal pathways into the U.S. The site, movilidadSegura.org, was created with help from the UN Refugee Agency, the International Organization for Migration, and other groups. In the hours before the new regulations went into effect, thousands of migrants attempted to wade through rivers, climb walls, and scrambled up embankments to U.S. soil, hoping to be processed before the new system went into effect at midnight U.S. Eastern Time. Most did not make it. In Matamoros, Mexico, at the eastern end of the border, close to the Gulf of Mexico, groups crossed the Rio Grande River in chin-high water. Some carried tiny babies and bags and belongings above their heads to make it to Brownsville, Texas, to ask for refuge. They clutched cell phones above the water to light the way towards the U.S. behind coils of razor wires. U.S. authorities shouted for the migrants to turn back as small children tied together by their parents to stop them from being washed to their deaths in the treacherous river, scrambled up the bank wearing brightly colored inflatable rings from the crossing. Uniformed soldiers pointed back where they had come from and refused to part the wire to let them come in and exercise their right to seek asylum. Be careful with children, an official shouted through the megaphone. It is especially dangerous for the children. The expired rule, known as Title 42, was in place since March of 2020. It allowed the border officials to quickly return asylum seekers back over the border on grounds of preventing the spread of COVID-19. With Title 42 preventing many from seeking asylum, it carried no legal consequences. After Thursday, migrants face being barred from entering the U.S. for 5 years and possible criminal prosecution. So they're claiming this even goes farther than Title 42. In El Paso in West Texas, hundreds of migrants camped out on downtown streets trying to figure out where to go next after crossing the border from Ciudad Juarez, Mexico. The first moments of the end of Title 42 in Juarez, the Mexican Twin City, to El Paso, were met with initial silence. It was almost as if nothing had changed for the 500 migrants hoping to turn themselves into U.S. authorities outside door 42 between Juarez and El Paso, a gate in the tall border barrier. The group had been waiting since late afternoon, surrounded by Texas National Guard and Border Patrol agents and entrapped by barbed wire. Throughout the afternoon and into the night, small groups were slowly allowed into the country while the rest stood by. The hot afternoon grew colder. As soon as the sun set, with no belongings, many struggled to keep warm. Their only option was dust-filled blankets, jackets, and sweaters that migration authorities provided from a dumpster nearby. In the dark of the night, cell phones were alight as migrants attempted to book one of the few asylum appointments available online through an app administered by U.S. federal authorities called CBP-1. Donald Trump, an anti-immigration hardliner, implemented Title 42 public health rule in 2020 when the pandemic hit, but it was continued and even expanded by Joe Biden despite campaign promises of a fairer and more humane system at the border. The policy has faced court battles and criticism from left and right. The order authorized border officials to immediately remove migrants, including people seeking asylum, overriding the normal rights. The Biden administration announced in January it was ending the declared national emergency linked to the coronavirus, spelling the end for Title 42 to deal with immigration. Immigration advocates represented by the American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU, filed legal challenges against the new asylum regulations on Thursday, minutes before they took effect. The group said the Biden regulation dramatically curtails the availability of asylum in the United States and mirrored or even went beyond similar Trump era policies blocked in court. Kenji Kizuka, the director of asylum policy with the International Rescue Committee, described the administration's policy as illegal and inhumane. President Biden, during the campaign, made a lot of really welcoming pledges to roll back some of the most restrictive, most inhumane Trump administration policies, Kizuka said. Unfortunately, of late, the administration has chosen to replace inhumane and chaos-creating Title 42 policy with the highly restrictive asylum ban that violates both U.S. and international law. On Thursday night, a federal judge in Florida blocked releases of migrants who have not yet got a date to appear in court, saying they were similar to a policy previously prohibited in March due to the failure to follow proper regulatory procedures. CBP did not respond for a request for comment. In a statement, Customs and Border Protection said it would comply with the court order, while the federal agency, echoed by Mayorkas on Friday morning, called it a harmful ruling. CBP said it will result in unsafe overcrowding and undercut our ability to effectively process and remove migrants. Judge Kent Weatherall blocked the release for 2 weeks. Later on Friday, it appeared the U.S. authorities had taken up 1,000 people who had been waiting to enter at El Paso away for detention and processing in centers further along the border to prevent a crush, CNN reported. Overcrowding fears and rising since Florida court ruling will mean authorities having to hold many people for longer until they have a court date. Processing under Title 42 was faster, with many quickly expelled. However, immigration advocates worry that even the longer asylum process in border facilities will be too hasty to be fair. So everybody's worries were kind of put to bed. You can now get asylum here, but you have to have an appointment. It's not millions of people just running across the border. Even some people who made it across the border between like that evening at the close of business and midnight when they went into effect still got sent back.
Top officials kidnapped fucking certain people's family members. That's why this is happening. So it's how it's going to unfuck itself by itself. And the sooner the people in this country...
Buck about you seeing six-packs. Great to hear that about the boys. This is towards a new game at GameStop or whatever. Great work, boys. Uncle Bucka Esquire. Thank you very much. I just buy them on Steam, but thank you. I think Bullshifter and I are going to maybe try to team up and play that Redfall game that he's been playing by himself. It's like a zombie... like you live on this island and zombies are taking it over and you got to fight back. It's a pretty cool looking game.
Wait.
Thank you, Suznut.
We're going to have to get our hands dirty. We're going to have to do a little DB-nos. We're going to have to stop dotting the I's and cross the T's and stop playing by the rules of law.
Of course, Jeff B's over there. Jeff B's always welcome there. I'm going to pull the chat up. Usually I have this full screen, but I think we're going to need to see the chat if we're looking for Christopher Santatorum.
Might be able to save the country, but if we play by Donald and the White Hat's rules, we're going to get fucked and fucked so hard our eyes are going to pop out. Not a nasty way to be, but oh well. If it gets us taken down, maybe it'll wake some motherfucker up and say, oh my God, oh, when in 66 years.
Maybe it expired. When did it expire? 10 p.m. or close of business? When did it expire?
Hey, who's this motherfucker? I already smoked him last night. I didn't see it.
Oh no. He's already getting upset. Who's he talking to?
Real Barbecue, whatever the fuck his name is.
So if you don't know, that is the one that Rhino had the meltdown on about him talking about his dog or whatever. It's Chris. And Rhino can never say his last name. Rhino can never get his last name right. So he just makes up basically any word that starts with an S. I heard him call him Chris Sassafras one time. He also says stuff like the 300-pound gorilla baby in the room and weird shit. So, the Biden era stuff took effect at midnight. Was it a full day, midnight to midnight? Is that what you're saying? He can never remember his name, but that's Kettlehead's Barbecue. The same person.
Go fuck yourself. I just got home. You're just a divider idiot. Anyway, so back to that. All right, the next couple of days are going to be very interesting, David. And, we talk
Well, I
offline.
have a question for you. If this was such
Yes,
an
sir.
emergency with the House passing this bill, wouldn't it?
Why'd they wait so fucking long?
Wouldn't you run that
In the hours before the new regulations went into effect, thousands of migrants waded through rivers, climbed walls, and scrambled up. It might have actually been a full day, midnight to midnight, but they were waiting until dark. Maybe that's what they're saying.
right over to the Senate? And if the Senate was so concerned, they would take the shit up instantly. But
So Kettleheads Barbecue and Beer says, damn, Don, you're
they're
mean.
not
Absolutely.
doing that.
Get him.
No, we're talking Monday, Tuesday.
Well, isn't that nice? That is what I'm
No,
talking
it's not nice.
Well, that's what I'm talking about then. If the man is supposedly
Okay, so one ended at midnight and one started 12 hours later at noon. Thank you.
commander in chief, then you need to take the mask off and fucking own it, live it, wear it, and say yaka da da. Boom.
Well, what you got to realize, well, and you know, I mean, we got a uniparty, okay? I mean, the rhinos and the Democrats.
Don still believes that President Trump is Don's so fucking drunk. He still believes that President Trump is still the president, and he's got all the details, he's got all the information, and we're gonna take all the deep state out.
Suck. Big fat.
Thank you,
what?
Spicer. I really didn't know.
And then you've got.
I just heard it was like
maybe, just maybe.
Final hour. They
and
got something pressed through.
You know, that are actually Americans. Then we got to deal with, this is what pisses me off. And you made me aware of it, and I would have never thought of it, David. I swear to you, God is my witness. We've got black hats in our military.
Oh, yes. If you're watching on Twitch, we have new dono animations for 500, 600, 700, 1,000 bits. If you watch often, you've seen them. I haven't finished the Roach one or the other new one that I'm working on for 900, 800, but I am working on them.
That to me blows my mind. Blows my mind. Now, what?
Even Rhino's mods are like, so Chris says, Don, say it. They say it. They smoke meat. Laugh out loud. And even Rhino's mods are like, laugh out loud, Chris. Damn, Chris, don't do what one said. Damn, Chris, don't do what Don said. I think's what they meant.
From what I understand, just let me finish my statement, and then you can roll all you want. What I
Calls him a sissy.
The Obama administration, they got rid of all the good guys. Okay, the real American generals, and not all of them, but most of them, the generals, 4-star, 3-star.
It doesn't matter to these people, Steph. So if he says something that they can cryptically twist, he's telling the truth, and they use cryptics to twist it into their plan. If he says something that doesn't fit their narrative, that's just disinformation. He has to do that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what's said ever.
2-star generals, 1-star generals in every part of our government. I know you're more aware of that than me. I'm not a military person. Maybe Jeff B knows. I mean, he was involved in a lot of shit.
Don, does it blow your mind like your meat?
I said, that blows me away. We got Americans that want to blow up this country? What kind of shit is that, David?
We've had a small subset of Americans that have wanted to blow up this country since its inception, since America began.
Well, put it this way. Not saying all of them, but most of any rank above colonel is compromised at this point in time. You might as well consider that.
Okay, wait. Stop it.
I think it's funny that the black hats have to simultaneously be all powerful, all the money, all the control, all the bad guys, all the deep state. They got Satan on their side. They got underground fucking bases that we don't even fucking have. They got baby farms, but they also have to be so fucking dumb they can't watch a YouTube video and figure out the plan and then make a reaction to those plans. So fucking retarded they can't even find these QAnon YouTubers just giving out the whole plan right here.
Right there. Tell me how. I mean, how are they compromised? Is it the money? Is it from Soros? I still am confused.
You only have, I think it's like 300 or 400 billeted spots above the rank of colonel. So they're very rare. It takes a lot of whatever.
Oh, I forgot we can see the chat on screen, can't we? I can just read that one. I'm an idiot.
At this point in time, I wouldn't care if it's bad, whatever. You can sort that out later. If you're a colonel, your ass is rounded up and relieved of your command for the time.
We already found the airman from the Tennessee Air National Guard that wanted to become a hitman and accidentally applied so many times to a parody site, they had to report him.
You may get it back, you may fucking not. But the question is, you have to have somebody at the top, and if your boy is
That's right, Bucka.
or General Berger or somebody else, someone needs to get on the fucking horse. And
God, Don's going to get pissed here in a minute, I bet.
this battle. We are going to slam.
Don, you and I were friends the other day. What happened? I always go in there and try to convince Don that me and him's friends. He hates it. He's like, Philly boy's coming for you. You're going to see. He's going to sue you in court. And then I'll say something. He'll be like, "What? At least I'm not going to be broke and owe everything to Phil."
Shut the border, not words.
He called Rhino at 3 a.m. one morning to explain the entire backstory of how I started covering Phil and Phil's going to sue me.
Not anything. Whatever we got that's on our side, white hats, then we're going to be like the 300.
It's amazing.
Not talk, not yak at that, not look at documents. They're fuckers in Congress and everyone are ill fucking legitimate. Just take them the fuck into custody. It is not that fucking
What's up, Hebs?
And America needs to wake the fuck up and do it themselves. If not, I hope these fuckers rape and pillage the entire country so bad.
Late to the party. Y'all, I have an official contract in the house in Mobile, Alabama. I can finally close the door. Now it's shut on my ex-sig narc. I'm partying. Congratulations. Glad you got it taken care of.
Spin, and everybody's head spin. Then
Now Don left for some reason.
oh, it does smell like shit. They're not fucking playing. They're coming to do. Simple as that. It don't get no finer, don't get no simpler, don't get no more direct.
Oh, he says, I am back. Am I back?
I don't know. Hold on, let me see if you're in the back.
Let me skip ahead and see.
You fell the fuck off altogether. Fell the fuck off altogether.
Don is so loud, shaking my head. Yes, I agree. They're not even leveled. So Rhino, you can barely hear, and Don is busting your eardrums out. Jeff B has now taken this weird doomer stance. If you've been here a while, you know Jeff B and the trouble we've had with him and his lies about everything. He even stole some guy's identity that was working security from Trump and tried to say it was him. He's almost as bad as the stuff that we get from Phil sometimes, but he's now taking this doomer approach. But before, he said if he was wrong and Biden was really the president, that he would come and personally apologize to all of us, not like in person, but online, an apology to all of us, make a video and apologize to everybody, state that he was wrong, and call for the arrest and trial for treason of Donald Trump and Mike Flynn and like Lynn Wood and Sidney Powell and all those people, and that there's no way he can be wrong because he knows, depending on which day he tells the story, he either knows the guy that's third in charge at the FBI or the guy that's fourth in charge of the FBI. He can't remember which a lot of the times, but he has this whole narrative story. There's been no apology. Instead, he's like, I guess we all voted for Biden. We get what we deserve. Don says you're BS.
Oh, well. All righty. Enough for tonight. Whatever. Enjoy your...
Doc P, who used to be a follower of my show, says PED, Insurrection Act, devolution, poof, and nada happened. None of that was real. I've been telling you that for months. If you would just continue to watch my show instead of running over these Q-tard shows, you'd probably know that.
Enjoy your friends all coming across the border.
Don's laugh out loud, gone again.
Everybody enjoy their newfound friend. Guess we'll see what happens.
They're trying to tell him to move away from the microphone.
It's not a dick.
That was probably me yelling, but whatever. Somebody have a safe, blessed. Hopefully somebody. Oh, I'll stay for a little bit then. Oh no, I'm gonna get bounced. Whoa.
Let's see if Don comes back on. Apparently, the ex-military left the ball on the battlefield. Yeah, blame the ex-military for not having your imaginary insurrection going on behind the scenes. Don't go, Rhino. Don wants back up, Chris says.
Wait for that to show up. Don, get back.
Waiting for Don to get back.
Fucking sweat my ass off, man.
Don fell in the pool. Paging Don, where is Dr. Don? Says Chris.
Started that shit tonight.
I turned the volume down.
I don't know. Where the hell is Don?
Are you sure it was Don? Viva la Revolution not? Yeah, that's pretty accurate. At Kettlehead, when are you going to bring anything to the table other than your weak-ass BS? Get up here because man or a woman or a tranny, of course, Don went with tranny, and let's chat, Lamau. You won't. It shows you nothing. But Don will run from me. I'm sure he would run from Chris as well. If I happen to hop in, Don suddenly disconnects. Or if I come on Rhino's panel, Don won't come up. Maybe he's beating his meat before he comes back. Yeah, he's got to relieve the stress.
Ah, you come on, big air.
Scott McKay is like Phil, a drifter. And Mike Penny. I think he mispronounced it.
He's back. Hold on.
Uh-oh. EC's in the chat.
There you go.
Ezra Cohen.
Hey, Bubba.
What's up?
Hey,
Damn, his mic's louder than everybody
so
else's.
much confusion, and you know what? I get your frustration. I got frustration.
Well, I mean,
It's obvious we're going to go through a very bumpy time here. I think it's going to happen this week, next week,
Chris says, Don, can we be friends?
and in July. Just my opinion. Talk shit about me all you want. I don't care. I know David does a lot of research. I know David does a ton of
Hold on.
research. Shit about me all you want. I don't care.
What's he predict?
Just my opinion. And through June, bumpy time here. I think it's going to happen this week, next week, and through June, and in July. Just my opinion. Week, a very bumpy station. There's so much confusion, and you know what? I get your
There is no confusion. Everybody else knows who the president is, man.
frustration. I got frustration.
well, I mean,
It's obvious we're going to go through a very bumpy time here. I think it's going to happen this week,
Bumpy.
through June, and in July. Just my opinion. Talk shit about me all you want. I don't care. I know David does a lot of research. I know David does a ton of research.
I give zero credence to anybody anymore who says they researched it. Because these people claim that they research every day and every night, all day long, 20 hours a fucking day. They've quit sleeping. That's all they do is research. And every one of them's a fucking idiot. Oh, but you gotta break down what he's not saying. You gotta use a gematrianator. It's like a calculator, but for Trump words.
you don't
Half your people.
We don't need to be going
Okay,
through
go
all
ahead.
this. We don't need to be going through all this hate and discontent. It's all bullshit. To go through all this hate and discontent, it could have been done a long time ago. It should have been
David, I
done
agree.
a long time ago.
Exactly. If anything was going to happen, it would have happened before January 20th.
And the one
Idiots.
Oh shit! Lala put something up.
federal judge blocks Biden from.
Wait a minute. Lala just put a really good post up. Did you see it?
I
Lala.
was trying to read it, Don, but you're yelling at him.
No, I can't see it.
Don, you are my research.
Releasing migrants without court dates.
She put up a deal where what is happening
Okay,
to
but to see, they were going to Title 8, but okay, you don't have enough personnel on the border that's going to be able to stop all those people from coming in.
blow me. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that.
Blow me.
BBQ and beer. Blow me. I'm just gonna say that.
Blow me, he says. Blow me. BBQ and beer. Blow me. They research on Telegram. They'll only consume any type of research that supports their narrative. If it goes in any other direction, they just call it disinformation and run away. Probably plugging their ears and going, la, 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 can't hear you, can't hear you.
I'll have to talk to him. Shut up.
Okay, he wants catch and release. The Border Patrol the other day.
Shut up, he says.
Letting them do street releases. Okay, if you have 5
That's not even what he wants. If they don't have a legitimate reason to be here, even if they claim asylum, and they didn't enter through a legal pathway, they're shipping them back. The same way under Title 42, guys.
as many coming through, who knows?
Well,
I mean, at any time, the one I don't get is
The hell is playing? Oh, it's over here. Sorry. That's my bad.
the one I don't get is okay. Where is the voice of the White Hats? Who is in command of the White Hats? What are you hiding from? The other side knows who the fuck you are. So what the fuck does it matter? Just like if asswipe is fucking whatever, because you're afraid of being called names, because you're afraid of being this or that. But yet the other night,
But, Don, why can't we be besties? Damn, Don. And blowing and loving his meats.
he said he's just a former president. Well, if that's true, then we're in deep shit, aren't we?
If that's true. if that's true, Trump himself said, I am the former president and I'm running again. And people are still saying, well, if that's true, if that could be disinformation. By the way, if you use exclamation point PNS, exclamation point PNS, I'll also be adding this over on Rumble, the link over on Rumble. We are doing a sponsored stream. I'll go pin this on Rumble and YouTube. We're doing a sponsored stream with a mobile game. Basically, the mobile game is you click that link and you can download it on iPhone or Android. And all you have to do really is get your, it's like a color matching game, kind of like Candy Crush or something like that. And you get your headquarters leveled up to level 5. That's the most basic way to explain it. If you like the game, there's more goals you can do. But if you can just get your headquarters to level 5, I would greatly appreciate you guys. I'm going to go pin this under the videos.
Again.
Well,
Hey, if I may say this,
the one I find disheartening.
Barbecue, dude, you're not even worth my time. I know who you are.
That shit.
Go
Just
away.
leave the barbecue man alone. He's gonna
I know who you are. Laugh out loud, sissy, stop. You're going to get me blocked. Oh, is Sissy saying something to you? Barbecue, I know who you are. I know who you are, barbecue man.
gonna say,
Fuck
I get
him.
that. Well, you two can have that phone conversation. The question is, there are people in fucking El Paso, Laredo, and all the people in Texas that are affected by these border towns that are going to see their life turned up the fuck side down. Is Donald going to make it right? Is anybody in this country going to make it right? And this is all shit that didn't need to happen. Doesn't need to happen. Now, my question is, you should be able to pull up that fucking plane thing, and you should see helicopters like a motherfucker. But you know what?
Yes, if you can watch on Twitch, please do. It helps out the show more than anything else. I know some people like to watch other places. If there's any way possible you can watch on Twitch, please do.
You probably won't see a fucking one. You won't see a fucking one. And yet, we're having this big, swanky America bullshit with Clay Clark and all the other grifting fucking bastards making fuckloads of money.
Well, okay.
He's over here saying, if that's true, if he's not really president, then he's also calling out these grifting fucking bastards. Got it.
It's right
I get that.
around.
I get that. Grifters suck. All right. Now, do you ask for money? No. Well, I remember back in the day, and I'm just going to say it straight up and be straight up. Yeah, you did. And yeah, it wasn't for much. And
You don't have to grift just money. You can grift attention. You can grift a narrative. You can grift to get the respect you've never had. If you've lived a sheltered life and you always wanted to be this high-speed fucking soldier and super cool FBI agent, turns out you were just the Morse code guy, you can grift people's fucking respect. You like the fact that they listen to you, that they hang on every word, that they respect you, and you can grift that out of people. It doesn't have to be money.
and so did one of your best friends back in the day. You know, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. To me, whether these clean America, I don't even know what.
I added it to the YouTube description. Damn, Don, you can't keep my name out of your mouth. Don, can we please be besties? I added it to the description on the YouTube video, the link.
Anymore. I don't
Right
even
at the top.
Clay Clark. Fuck you. I mean, that guy's on speed. I mean, and if, okay, so does it make a difference? Are they grifting the American people that want America back? I'm 50-50 on it. I don't know if they're doing the right thing or not. Oh, yeah, let's use God, Jesus, and all that other bullshit. Stop it.
By taking all your money, you're 50-50 on it? What could possibly be the other 50, Don?
Some of the speakers are amazing. What they're doing is using this situation that we're fucked in to make money. I don't like that. My opinion only. You can say whatever you want. I think it's nasty.
My opinion is,
Most people are going to have to stand before. Okay, I don't care who you call him, God, the source. And
Source. I call him source code 1.
my opinion only.
well, here, I'll go with that. Okay, I'm not gonna like this. Okay, this shit's been going on for 200-300 years. You're gonna tell me now that God all of a sudden got a wild hair up his ass, but that's not about another here or there. That doesn't save this country. It doesn't get rid of the problem right now. My question right now is,
Sissy says, Don, you said you'd go on Kettle's live stream last night.
my question.
I'm guessing he backed out of that, huh?
I would be beating on his goddamn desk. Oh, so you're so for the children, Donald. You're so for the children. The question is, if he is commander-in-chief, then, or whoever is in charge of the White Hats, or Abbott, or whatever, Abbott should be on the fucking radio nonstop on the TV. He should be everywhere. He should be instructing every sheriff's department shoot to kill the invaders. I don't care. These people in this country need to wake up. His question is, it's either going to be them or it's going to be you. We're not playing games. This is no longer a fucking movie. It's not any of that bullshit. And it's not Charlie Ward. It's all pantomime. The fucking shit is real. It is fucking happening. Let him fucking try to deflect that.
I agree. Have I not agreed with you in our personal conversations? Absolutely. This shit has got to stop now.
My mouse is fucked up. I'm working on it.
that thought.
I'll be right back with you. Oh, it's this fucking
Why?
pen. I guarantee it. I'm an idiot.
Why
I'm so
is this
dumb.
happening the way it is? Now we need to think about that. Okay, yeah. Oh no, it needs to stop now. But why is it happening the way it's happening?
So he agreed to come on your show last night, Chris, if you're still in the chat.
You know, I was on board with you a long time ago. Stop it.
All they need is Texas Info Warrior here.
Right.
This would be a
So
this
why
would
does
be
it
a
have to go so long.
three-peat.
I am absolutely
Because we have,
Trifecta.
saying
we have to wake up.
no. It shouldn't. Let's cut the head of the snakes off.
But Don, isn't this already taken care of?
What I figured out. I'm gonna,
Question mark.
Sorry, David.
Right?
For
They already took care of all this.
takeover, it's got to be really, really bad, according to our Constitution,
Yeah, we'll cover Phil after this.
tribunals, and all that kind of stuff. Probably half your, and I don't mean to be ugly, half you people haven't even read the Constitution,
You know what?
and I bet
Someone just said, I did read today, they have until 2027 to appear in court. Where did you read that? I would be very surprised if your initial court was 2027.
don't mean to be ugly. I hope you.
Like, you may go to court and then it may get extended, it may get pushed back, it may get changed. Hell, court takes forever. Phil's been at his lawsuit with the Scranton Times. We haven't even finished depositions or discovery, and it's already been a year. But your initial court date is 2027?
But what's going to happen is when military takes over, it's a new game. It is absolutely a new fucking game. They will fucking, and I pray for it every night. Come on, military.
They're not going to do shit. They've already failed. You take an oath when you join the military to protect this country from enemies, foreign and domestic. It doesn't say
Exactly.
nothing about a fucking popularity contest. It doesn't say whether 80% of the fucking people like it or not. You fucking
I don't give a fuck who likes it or not.
to defend this country. We're fucking
Damn.
domestic motherfucking invasion.
Calm down, Rhino.
One in the U.S. military has violated that oath.
And they should be X'd out. And David, please settle down. I don't want your veins popping out of your neck. And you're right. You're 100% right. But that's coming.
I see some people with dates to appear in 2027 and 2028. That's because they're banned from entering the country for another 5 years.
From what I understand.
I wish I would have been at the route because I would have got kicked the fuck out too. Because you know what? I would have
David,
beat your fucking ass.
you were a fucking private when you left Marines.
I don't give a fuck what I was. I don't give a fuck what I was. You know.
They gave me a court date for 4 years from now and sent me back to Venezuela.
What? I got more motherfucking honor in my ass than that motherfucker in Mar-a-Lago would ever have to think about. That motherfucker in
okay.
Mar-a-Lago.
That's fine. I thought they were. She made it seem like they were saying they were allowed to enter the country legally, and then said, "Oh, but you got to clear this up by 2027." They're being sent home. There are advocacy groups against this, saying they should have their day in court, not years. If they qualify for asylum, that's fantastic. If they do not qualify for asylum, they should be sent back to their country with a way to qualify within a few years, or within days, not years. You are also seeing the Biden administration funnel people down the asylum route and sending them back home. 9 of 10 people do not qualify for asylum.
Could not lick the balls off of nobody in Arlington National Cemetery because what is he? A piece of.
Okay.
And I would tell you
Oh, he was a private when he was discharged? Hold on. What did you just say? Did he say that?
honor in my ass than that motherfucker.
Marines.
I don't give a fuck what I was. I don't give a fuck because you know what? I would have
David,
beat your fucking ass.
you were a fucking private when you left Marines.
I don't give a fuck what I was. I don't give a.
He was a private when he left the Marines? Holy shit, dude. Holy shit. Wow.
Fuck what I was. You know what? I got more motherfucking honor in my ass than
Kettle says, tell him, Rhino.
that motherfucker in Mar-a-Lago would ever have to think about.
No wonder he never talks about it.
Mar-a-Lago could not lick the balls off of nobody in Arlington National Cemetery because what is he? A piece of.
Okay.
And I would tell it to
That's your opinion. That's your,
I would
David.
tell Don, yeah, because you want to say
David.
So either he served for like, because I think he was basically saying like he got medicaled out, or at least he was letting people believe he got medicaled out. So he either got in a lot of trouble, got kicked out really fucking quick, or got medicaled out really fucking quick.
It's your opinion. It's okay. It's okay to scream and yell.
No, it's okay.
But what is that doing? Moving forward, this America. Oh my God! If you only heard, how is that moving forward? Just screaming and yelling.
Yeah, they have a.
What are solutions?
Yeah, okay. So Marines do have a lot less slots available. They do rank up slower than being in the Army. Plus, any branch, combat arms, infantry, and combat arms rank up a lot faster. But on average, a Marine spends 6 to 8 months as a private. 6 to 8 months. That's the average for the entire Marine Corps. I just looked it up.
What are our solutions?
Leaning heavily towards 6 months.
David, what are our solutions? You can scream y'all all you want. Look, I mean, I get it. I'm as pissed off as you are. But I've learned that being pissed off and yelling.
So, Don, you're talk about meat and privates now?
You give me a whole goddamn tank, I would kill every fucking thing that walks that's ill fucking legal. You're not pissed off. You don't give a rat's ass because it's probably.
Oh, he's a tanker, I guess. I thought he was a helicopter or something.
Because they be taking your shit. I hope the state of Texas fucking burns. Then maybe the ass clown will act.
Private's what you go in as.
He has no fucking honor. None. There's 400,000.
Okay, that's okay.
There's 400,000.
I'm not even going to answer beer queer, but that's okay.
Oh, no. Now he's caught sissy. You're going to make me pee myself. So they're joking back and forth with the mods, and Don calls him, don't repeat this in chat, but Don calls him beer queer. That's awful, Don.
And many other in all fucking cemeteries in this country.
Abort, Don. You're losing the argument.
Fucking country for. For what? For what? You answer that fucking question. What did they give their life for? Not a fucking thing. That is fucking disgusting.
So let me, okay, David, you're right.
Isn't it weird how they throw these tantrums and say, you didn't give your life for a fucking thing because the guy that I want to be president isn't president? Because a law, or I guess, yeah, a law that was implemented at the border for COVID, which we didn't even believe should be done because we didn't believe in COVID, was now lifted because COVID's over, and we agree with that. But now we're so mad that all veterans who ever died for nothing.
Every war was created by the cabal, and they funded both sides of the war. And yeah, our boys, their boys, died for nothing. Get it through your fucking stupid head that yes, they created.
Ooh, Don's going after him.
Money.
No, there's 400,000 because the U.S. military and a certain dickhead are supposed to protect this country from enemies, foreign and domestic. And
World War I, World War II, this fucking bullshit.
Don, you're the one who likes the meat.
It was all funded by the cabal. When you fucking wake up to that fucking experience, this fucking bullshit, Vietnam War, Korea, was all funded by the cabal. When you fucking wake up to that fucking experience, and oh my God, they had in Afghanistan or wherever the fuck it was, they have bioweapons or fucking whatever. That was all bullshit. That was all your media and everybody telling you shit. They've been wanting us to fight against each other forever, which is going to have to stop. We are, as a people, we are not ugly people to other people. We have destroyed.
Garden, I'm Chris.
Destroyed. Vietnam War was the biggest bullshit thing in the world.
I got one question for you. If I rounded up a pickup truck and I had 2 other people and we had fucking AK-47s and AR-15s and every other weapon we could win, would you go to the border and shoot fucking illegals? Would you?
What you're proposing sounds illegal. Like you can't do that, right? You can't do that. Your name is Gibby. You really put me in my place, Gibber. Voted for Trump twice. Now suddenly I'm fat and a Biden lover. Got it. Thanks, Gibbs.
No, I'd shoot in front of them.
Nope. That's my answer. There you go. Got my answer. You wouldn't fucking shoot nobody. You wouldn't shoot somebody breaking into your house.
No, I would scare them back. So wait a minute. I'm not a killer. Okay.
They probably got gifted one.
A killer. That's okay.
Or they just didn't like the show last night. When was the show I talked about politics? Was that last night? So many people are probably butthurt over that fucking show. I can't help it. Unless you could prove something, you're not allowed to fucking say it anymore. I'm tired of fucking people lying and lying to themselves, only consuming media that supports their bullshit and fucking defending one side for the same thing that the other side does. And one time it's bad, over here it's bad, over here, man, you just don't understand it. He just did that for optics.
First rounds would be 10 to 20 feet in front of them saying, get the fuck out of here. If you cross that line, you're going down. And after one or two of them go down, they're going down. But I'm not a born killer. Seriously. Think about that. That's stupid. And you know who they're going to send first?
How does he get to say on YouTube saying this crap? Who the fuck knows? When his threat against my family, where he said he was going to lock them in their house and force me to watch it while he burnt my family alive in my home, was stayed up on YouTube for fucking months and months, and it might still be up.
Think about this. They're going to send children and women. No.
Garden Don always drinks. Oh, Don always drinks. Talking to Garden.
Not killing them. No. That's where the helicopter comes in. He comes in with his yak and says, okay, fuck you.
So if you're catching up in the current situation, Rhino is mad at Don because Don said he would not, if Rhino pulled up in a pickup truck with a bunch of guys in the back, AK-47s and ARs, to go murder people at the border, Don would not shoot them. And here we are.
And then fucking puts a line across them, and then we're good to go.
No, I don't give a fuck if it's a man, woman, or a child. I don't care how old it is.
Oh, David, man, David. Okay, I'm leaving. I can't listen to that. Killing children and women that are looking. No, I can't listen to it. I love you. We'll talk later if you want, but I can't listen to that kind of speech. I can't.
That's why your city will burn. That's why your city.
It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit with me. You don't kill women and children. If you do, you are the problem. Good night.
I mean, you're just going to prison if that's what you want to do. I mean, you sound as unhinged as like a mall shooter or a school shooter.
If you cloned my ass to about 1,500 to 2,000, we would have never got in this situation. Would have never got in none of this situation.
Let's see how Rhino ends. It's almost over, and we'll go to Phil.
Let me go get some food. Oh, well. I hope Texas burns like it's never been burnt in your lifetime. You have your chance, dog, if you don't want to take
I don't know why your comment got deleted. It was the bot that did it, so I have no idea, to be honest with you.
Gypsy Daisy 123
oh, no.
cheers.
Look at this guy.
700.
Thank you very much, Gypsy Daisy.
It tells you laws and orders.
The bot's picky sometimes.
We're a nation of law and order. Oh, all of a sudden. Oh, man, this guy. Look at this guy. Oh, and look at him. He's all upset today. Not upset. Shoot, I sleep like a baby every night.
I sleep like a baby every night. Look at this guy. Who is this guy? Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Oh, it's the R word. The R word is what it got. You can't say that. It'll grab that every time.
Not to be negative. Somebody wants to take charge of this shit. They don't want to reveal the fucking bastard. I got no respect for the man. News for you. I got none. And I would tell Donald J. Trump that right to his.
No respect. Don, please don't leave. Chris is still trying to make friends.
We're going to let these motherfuckers invade our country. You know, if you wouldn't run for cock kisser, I would win fucking shit.
It's no big deal. It just, the bot does it. It's fine. The bot does it by timing you out for 1 second to make it disappear, but that's it.
You might get something done.
Most people don't even notice.
Rhino says if more people would take up firearms, go to the border, and then just kill
fucking innocent people who may or may not be crossing the border, I guess. I'm sure they probably would have trouble even finding the border. But just start shooting the Browns. Then if more people would do that, we wouldn't be in the mess we were in. Okay?
I don't give a fuck. It's man, woman, child, rabbit, dog. Fuck if it comes from Mexico.
Reach for the sky. Look at this guy.
Uh-oh. So this Rhino has really, really, really shitty service. Oh, he's back. He has really shitty service. But what they claim is that he uses Restream the same as I do. They claim that Restream is listening to him and cutting him out when he hits topics that YouTube doesn't like. Two separate companies that have nothing to do with each other. Restream is monitoring him and cuts him off when he does something that YouTube and Google doesn't like. It's a very complicated process. Thank you for the donation, by the way. I like that. I like that one. I like that one and the boat one. Probably the best.
Anywhere in that state. Oh, we're gonna have shit at the Doral. $700 to $1,000 a night rooms. Oh.
That's right. Over the target. Must be over the target.
Yeah, motherfuckers.
Why Don and I can't be besties? I'm upset.
Oh well.
This has been the worst plan in history. If this is all part of the plan,
Burn, baby, burn.
I want to be on the other team.
We got the marshmallows. We got the marshmallows. Woo-hoo.
Low budget porn movie music. That means he must be leaving. Let it burn. Break out the marshmallows, Rhino says. He's not picking up a pickup truck because Don won't shoot him. Watch the Wawa. That's what Bullshiver says. Watch the Wawa. Watch the Wawa. All right. So, Phildo. My boy Phil. Let's go to his Telegram first, and then he's got a video from tonight. And we're going to cover it. If you want to stick around. More than welcome. If you want to support the stream, go to coldbeer.fund while I'm looking this up. If you want to support the stream, go to coldbeer.fund. You can do that while we're online, while we're offline, whenever you want to. Buy me a coffee, dono clip. You can do bits on Twitch for certain animations, 500, 600, 700, 1,000. Join our Patreon for extra content. Let's see what he's got. Couple things here. We're going to back up a little bit because I haven't covered it in a few days.
PR_ you betcha cheered Dex 600.
600. What is that one? Is that something supposed to happen? Oh, why did it not happen? I guess is the question. What the fuck? The other one just worked, didn't it? It's connected. I'll make it work. What the hell? Did you break it? The other one just worked. That means it's connected, right? The one we just did. OBS connected. Save and close. Edit deck. Edit commands. What the hell? I'll make it work. Hold on. I like that one, and it didn't work. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. I'll force it to work for right now, and then we'll do something else later, I guess.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking. I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
Thank you very much for the donation. I don't know who that lady is, but that is a very, very funny donation animation. So there you go. Thank you for activating that. I don't know. It must have just not been listening for that split second that the 600 bits came through. I don't know. That was weird, wasn't it? Edit deck, edit triggers. It's for 600 bits, right? 600, save from anybody. Huh. That was weird. It's all connected. Okay. So let's go to Phil's Twitch. If none of the rest of them work, I'll activate them manually. That's fine. I haven't covered him in a few days now. He says that, so he's been canceling his lives, basically. Let me see if I can back up to where this started at. It should have been Thursday, I believe, which would have been the 10th, maybe. Was that when Trump was live, the 10th? I'm not going to read all the ones he shared, just some of the stupid ones, like the Flat Earth stuff, which we've watched some of these. Okay, I backed up way too far. So he shares some Flat Earth stuff, the Operation Fistbowl, Operation Dominic, which they claim that Operation Fistbowl was a CIA operation to see if they could break through the firmament because we live on a flat Earth. When in reality, it was a series of high altitude nuclear tests that the United States did as part of Operation Fishbowl was part of Operation Dominic, whatever, nuclear test program. They were flat test vehicles that were being tested by Avco Corporation, and they were these high altitude tests to see what the fuck would happen. All the tests were to be launched on missiles. Johnston Island in the Pacific Ocean, north of the equator. Johnston Island had. So this just tells you it's barely north of the equator. That would be the furthest place from the firmament they could be. The rapid planning of. I'm sorry, I skipped a line. North of Johnston Island had already been established as a launch site for the United States high-altitude nuclear tests rather than the location in the Pacific Proving Grounds in 1958. Lewis Strauss, then Chairman of the United States, blah, blah, blah. Research directions. The United States completed 6 high-altitude nuclear tests in 1958, but the high-altitude test of the year raised a number of questions. According to U.S. government report, blah, 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 the first successful test of Fishbowl series. Previous high-altitude nuclear tests, teak, orange, and yucca, plus the 3 Argus shots were poorly instrumented and hastily executed despite thorough studies of meager data. Present models of these bursts are sketchy and tentative. These models are too uncertain to permit exploration to other altitudes and yields with any confidence. Thus, there is a strong need not only for better instrumentation, but for further tests covering a range of altitudes and yields. So they were kind of like rush tests, and because they were rush tests, they were kind of getting answers all over the place. They were getting different yields all over the place. They were getting different size explosions all over the place. They didn't feel like it was safe to continue because the data was so fucked up. They needed better data. They needed better instrumentation. They needed better things to do this. They never said anything about the firmament. But that's what they like to say is like, oh, the reason they failed is because they hit the firmament. Got it. The cheating fisherman of Michigan. Oh, yeah? He was disgusted with his anger and rage. Research operations Fishbowl is what he says. He shares NASA is not a space agency and says something about the Antarctic Treaty, a video from TikTok. He shares new evidence reveals that the CIA may have promoted the Hunter Biden intel statement to other intelligence officials, intelligence community officials. This is according to a statement provided to committees by former CIA officer David Karines. He shares a Fox News, New York Post. Hunter met with dad after Romanian business talks. I actually watched that the other day. It's not that. Basically, they're saying he had Romanian business talks. Then within a couple of hours, he had lunch with his dad that had been scheduled for a couple of weeks. The witch hunt. This is from Trump. The witch hunt is all about the election interference. Blah, blah. I think I read that for you guys already. Jim Jordan. He shares House oversight graphic of China payments to Biden. He shares a Steve Bannon. He shares something that says Trump calls verdict a witch hunt, vows to appeal the $5 million judgment. He better be very careful calling this a witch hunt. There were men, there were women, there were Republicans, there were Democrats. There were all different people on that jury, and he still was convicted by a majority. In a civil case, you don't need 12. You don't need everybody to vote guilty. You just need a majority, and they got a majority on him it was so basically the way they read it is it's more likely than not that he did have this woman in some type of sexual battery and then did lie about it. He shares Rep. James Comer. I like Coomer better. A whistleblower who has provided us information about a complicated, suspicious network of over 20 companies the Bidens used to take money from foreign nationals. He shares House Oversight Committee is holding a press conference at the moment related to the Biden Circle family, and they're dropping some receipts on Twitter about their findings. I'm afraid that a lot of this is hype, and a lot of people are going to be let down. He shares a Twitch video, which is kind of dumb about, you be the judge. Here you go. A lot of people don't like this. I guess I shouldn't say it's dumb.
The baby on the cross. Lil Dicky on the cross. Tupac.
This is celebrities mocking Jesus.
P. Diddy on the
cross. It says. Let me turn it down some.
The baby on the cross. Lil Dicky on the cross. Tupac on a cross. Lady Gaga with a nun outfit on that has an upside down cross. Katy Perry acting like she's burning in flames with a demon behind her with a cross on her chest. Lil Uzi Vert and Playboy Cardi performing on stage with the upside down cross in back of them. Kendrick Lamar with the crown of thorns. SNL pretending to give a lap dance to Jesus. Little Nas X with Satan. Little Nas X with the Satan shoe, where it has the verse Luke 10:18 on it, where it talks about Satan falling like lightning. Megan Thee Stallion pretending.
I don't know if you know this or not, but it is is it possible to be convicted? I don't think the term is convicted. It's at fault. Found at fault. There is no convicted in a civil case. It's at fault or not at fault. I don't know if you guys know this about celebrities, and maybe this stuff makes you really mad, but they're banking on it making you mad. Tons of people share this. Tons of people share this because they're angry about it, and it forces it to go viral. Do you guys not remember the shoes, that Satan shoes with real blood in them and all this crazy stuff? A lot of people that bought those shoes probably wouldn't have seen it if people wouldn't have been so mad about it and sharing in their anger about it. They use the vision to market. So there you go. He shares that, a mockery of Christ. He says, you think Biden made this call, so what happens is a major reversal. Biden resurrects Trump's border policy ahead of Title 42 repeal. So not really. It's his own policy, but it's similar in some respects and different in others. But this is, the Daily Wire says, because the Daily Wire is friendly to Trump, they're like, oh, Biden just took Trump's policy and did it again.
I'm a little bit drunk 'cause I'm drinking.
What the hell? Did that just now go off?
I'm a little bit drunk 'cause I'm drinking. I'm a little bit drunk.
What is going on? Is that where I forced it to run earlier?
Drinking. I'm a little bit drunk.
Now it's hung up. Are we stuck with this?
Drinking.
No, it must have been some type of delay. I'm gonna wait and see if it comes on. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm wrong. When they say the jury must come to a civil trial, litigants seek remedies for private wrongs that do not necessarily have a broader social impact. At least 6 people make up a. That's what I guess that's where I got confused. It depends on how many people's on the jury, but it says at least 6 people make up a civil jury. The jury must come to a unanimous decision, but they're not deciding beyond a reasonable doubt. They're deciding a preponderance of the evidence, more true than not. So it still has to be unanimous, I guess. So it was a unanimous jury, but they're not deciding that it was beyond reasonable doubt like you would in 99.9% or whatever you want to call it. Like in a criminal trial, it's more likely than not that it happened. So Biden didn't exactly reverse and take Trump's Title 42. It's slightly different, right? You can be here for asylum seeking. Trump had no asylum seeking whatsoever. Now you can, but he's made a lot of hoops you got to jump through. Like you have to have an appointment. The appointment. Thank you very much for the donation. I thought they were just going off. Thank you, Kat from Connecticut. It says, you think Biden made this call? Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I am kind of an asshole. You can ask Mariah. You think Biden made this call? You think that it wasn't Trump and the white hats holding out until the last possible second just to show people how stupid the Biden administration really is? Joe Biden is sitting president of nothing. The white hats are in control. Then he says, hey, guys, had way too many requests to cancel tonight's live because Trump is on. I don't know that he had requests to cancel tonight's live. They actually like when Phil covers Trump. So I don't know that he had any requests. He says, the general feeling of this chat channel is to cancel as well based on what I see. Let's do tomorrow instead. I should have known better. Time to be determined. Then he shares some silver post. He shares something about, what is this, Trump gold?
Carol and defamed her. You've denied this. But what do you say to voters who say it disqualifies
Oh.
you from being president?
Well, there aren't too many of them because my poll numbers just came out. They went up. Okay. I think I'm the only person in history who had a charge like that. And usually you leave office, you say, I'm sorry, but I'm going to back home. I'm back home to my family and everything. I'm going to be resigned. My poll numbers went up, and they went up with the other fake charge too, because what's happening is they're doing this for election interference.
So, polls are tricky at times. So first of all, we have to accept that he's actually telling the truth and depend on what poll he's used. I know a lot during the 2020 election campaign, they would use one specific poll because it always polled him higher than they would use the other polls. And of course, Biden would use the poll that polled him higher. You know what I'm saying? And there's some type of bias in those polls because obviously Rasmussen always had Trump a little bit higher than any other poll.
This woman, I don't know her. I never met her. I have no idea who she is. I had a picture.
Polls are tricky, though.
With her and her husband, nice guy, John Johnson.
And you thought it was your wife when you watched the picture. When you looked at the picture, you identified her as your wife, but you also said that have you seen her? You think that I would rape her, like as if you wouldn't. She's not my type, is what you said. She's not my type. If she was my type, yeah, I'd rape her. But she's not my type. But you also confused her as your wife. That was a bad move there.
He was a newscaster, a very nice man. She called him an ape. Happens to be African American. Called him an ape. The judge wouldn't allow us to put that in. Her dog or her cat was named Vagina. The judge wouldn't allow to put that in.
What does that have to do with anything? The reason the judge wouldn't let you in is because that's not relevant. I had a dog one time named the Black Bitch. Do you think that would prove something if I was in a car wreck and injured somebody? The fuck?
All of these things but with her, they can put in anything. Access
This
Hollywood.
was a jury of 9 people who found you liable of sexual abuse.
9 people, okay.
That will deter women from voting for you?
No, I don't think so, because I think the whole thing, just so you understand, ready? I never met this woman. I never saw this woman. This woman said, I met her at the front door of Bergdorf Goodman, which I rarely go into other than for a couple of charities.
So the things that Jean Carroll had going for her is that, what is the word? I don't remember what it's called. There's a word that is used for, I think it starts with a P. She had told people around when this happened that it happened. And there's a word for that. Like, she had told people something. I think it starts with a P. I can't remember it right now. But she had told people then. She also had people that identified and remembered that day at the store.
I met her in the front door. She was about 60 years old, and this is like 22, 23 years ago. I met her in the front door of Bergdorf Goodman. I was immediately attracted to her, and she was immediately attracted to me. And we had this great chemistry. We're walking into a crowded department store. We had this great chemistry, and a few minutes later,
she would have been around 50 in 1995.
We end up in a room, a dressing room of Bergdorf Goodman, right near the cash register.
No, it's none of those words. I'll look it up in a minute.
She said, I found one that was open. She found one. She learned this at trial. She found one that was open. What kind of a woman meets somebody and brings them up, and within minutes you're playing hanky-panky in a dressing room, okay? I don't know if she was married then or not. John Johnson, I feel sorry for you, John Johnson.
Mr. President, can I
No, but
I add to this?
think of it. Think of it.
I know you're recounting what she said, but Mr. President.
But let me just, if I could, because you asked the question.
This was a
just
jury,
so you understand,
though.
if I was walking in at the
Contemporaneously. It doesn't start with a P. It starts with a C. Thank you very much. That's cattywampus. She told people contemporaneously, which means like back at the time that it happened, right? Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. I don't know why I thought it started with a P.
famous then, and I own the Plaza Hotel right next door, and I own buildings around it. I'm not going into a dressing room of a crowded department store. Then I say, if she was being raped, and by the way, they said she wasn't raped. Okay, that was her charge. It wasn't.
They found that you sexually abused her.
Yeah, sexual battery. They didn't give her the rape portion. So there was rape. There was him lying about it. Defamation, slander, libel, or whatever. And there was the sexual battery. He got the sexual battery and the lying about it.
Say what they did. They said he didn't rape her. And
They did
I
not
didn't
say
do
that he
anything else either. You know what? Because I have no idea who the hell she is.
But Mr. President,
I don't know who this woman
can I
is.
ask you, given your recounting
I
your
don't know
version,
who, and I tell you this.
But Mr.
Are
President,
you ready?
can I
and I
can
swear
ask
on
you
my
because-
children, which I'd never do. I have no idea who this woman. This is a fake story, made up story.
So he was really big, like almost like a folk hero in New York at the time, and she was really big and famous at the time for her advice columns and stuff. People knew who she was, maybe not by seeing her as much. Her picture was probably included with the column. I don't remember. I read some of her columns from that time period, but knew her name.
Horrible Clinton appointed judge. He was horrible. He allowed her to put everything in. He allowed us to put nothing in.
Mr. President,
this is a
you're
fake
recounting your version
story.
of events here right now to the audience. You referenced the trial. You did not go to the trial and actually
That's right.
testify. Do you wish that you had testified?
Oh, is that how it ends? Just no? There you go. That's Trump. And I guess this is classic Trump, says Phil. Or what did he say? Trump gold. Then we get he shares a post from Lynn Wood. I also agree with President Trump that in time, Jean Carroll's win, or Jean. John, Jean. Well, I guess she's saying he's a man. Is Lynn Wood claiming that she's a man? Will be reversed to a loss. What do you think will happen? Here's another clip. It says, Caitlin Collins telling President Trump that he didn't finish the wall is comical. He's making her look like a fool.
Of thousands of people pouring into our country. Even the judge, the judge overruled them when they wanted to terminate it early. And he said, that you better extend this thing. The judge in Texas said, I hope you're going to extend this, but this is my policy that they're letting terminate because they lost in court. They wanted to go earlier. You're going to have millions of people pouring into our country right now at a level that nobody's ever seen before. These people are sick. Anybody that wants this to happen to our country, they're destroying our country, and this should not be allowed to happen. How they're not going to do a version of Title 42 or my Title 42, which was tough. If people are sick and have infectious diseases and lots of other problems, we don't want them being into our country. We have enough problems right now. We have problems like we've never had in the history of our country.
But Mr. President,
our country is being destroyed.
The reason it's ending is because the health policy, the COVID era pandemic emergency is coming to an end. That's what Title 42 was. You put it in place because
That's
of COVID.
True, but
when it comes to questions about what your immigration policy would look like if you are reelected, some of your Republican rivals have.
So the burden for proof for battery is lower than in a criminal proceeding for battery. Well, the burden of proof, I guess, for all of it would be lower than. I'm reading articles right now to try to see how to explain it. I watched a video that explained it. A civil claim of battery may encompass a wide range of unwanted physical contact. In addition to asking whether Trump raped Carroll, the jury was asked to consider whether he sexually abused her or forcibly touched her. So I guess they didn't think it. Maybe they didn't think that it was more likely than not that it went all the way to rape. But part of her story is like being pinned against the wall. She hit her head. He kissed her and forced her to kiss him. Maybe they thought that it was more likely than not that happened, but not more likely than not that the rape happened. Maybe.
criticized you for not fulfilling the promises that you made on the campaign trail, like finishing the border wall. So how did voters know that you would get those done if you're reelected?
I did finish the wall. I built a wall. I built hundreds.
What, you finished a wall?
Miles of wall.
Please don't start saying you finished a wall and we're still sitting here waiting. You just said we're terrified because millions of people are going to flood in across an open border, but you're also finished a wall. Please don't do that.
And I finished it. And then I said, we have to build some more because there are areas like water going through a dam. There are some areas where a lot of people are coming.
When you say you finished the border wall, nobody's talking about like one section you made out in fucking California, dude. You promised while running you were going to build a border wall and Mexico was going to pay for it. Mexico didn't pay a dime for it. And you I can understand if he argues like we didn't have the money. Congress fought me. It got blocked. The Supreme Court, Rhino Republicans, but you can't say you finished it. This is a weak move, even for a campaigning presidential candidate. That is horrible.
Close up one and they come into another. And we started another 100 miles of wall. In fact, I said to my people, if we start this and don't finish it, and then we had a rigged election, I'm sorry to say it.
The election was not rigged, Mr.
Good,
President. You can't keep saying that all night long.
And so then they took over and they decided not to finish it. It would have taken them 3 weeks. I built hundreds of miles of wall. If we didn't have it, it would be hard to believe it could be any worse. They're just letting people flow into our country. Look, a country has to have borders. There's never been anything like is happening to our country right now.
You built about 52 miles of new wall when you were in office, Mr. President.
He was like...
One other thing that...
He was, when he did his deposition, he was very hostile, very short, almost like, yeah, like trying the lawyer. He did not have any love for that woman, that's for sure. I agree with that.
Mr. President, it wasn't the complete wall, President. It wasn't of new wall.
Borders. There's never been anything like is happening to our country right now.
You built about 52 miles of new wall when you were in office, Mr. President. It wasn't the complete wall. One other thing that with
no, but I have to respond to that.
With your immigration.
But he completed a wall is what he's going to say. He built 52 miles of new wall. The U.S.-Mexico border is just under 2,000 miles.
It was only about 52 miles of new wall.
This is what she does. I built hundreds of miles. Some of the wall was up there, and it would be laying on the ground, rusted, rotten steel, rusted, rotten wood, a little. And what the radical left, crazy Democrats did, if there's a piece of wood laying down, they consider that a wall. I built 30-foot walls that go down 7 feet.
That's like 1/40th or something.
If there was a little piece of wood sitting in the ground, they said, oh, he's not building a wall. We already had a wall.
Well, that's not true. They're literally talking about new construction. Whether you tore it down or whether there was a fence post there, you built 52 miles of new construction. It was a 30-foot wall. It's somewhere like in California or some shit. We've seen it. We even saw him testing it. So that was the next clip. He then says, I think Trump going on CNN voluntarily for any reason is a terrible, terrible idea. Whoever thought this was a good move needs to be fired. The host is rude, snarky, obnoxious, disrespectful, and clueless about the, quote, facts she keeps giving. What an absolute disgrace. That's all from Phil. No left-leaning Democrat, and certainly not any liberals, will change their mind about Trump after watching this town hall. No left-leaning Democrat, and certainly not any liberals, will change their mind about Trump, even if hardcore evidence of the radical left's crimes were shown to them. This is stupid. Then he shares a meme that says, how do you tell who's telling the truth? And it says, the ones trying to silence other people are the ones lying. He shares a post from Captain K that says, from Rasmussen, update, a new high voter distrust of the 2020 election results in set today. How likely is it that cheating affected the outcome of the 2020 election? And Democrats were split 45-50. Independents are split 64-28. And Republicans were 80-16, 84. All was 62-32, which is a new record high. I quit trusting Rasmussen. I mean, you can if you want to, and you can believe that, but man, their numbers were crazy during the last two elections. These numbers are way too defined to show anything other than Dems rig everything under the sun. 62% of Americans believe the election was rigged. That's about what I've thought. The number climbs when asked if the system of elections is trustworthy, likely about 75% in the negative. So I don't personally believe that, but there you go. That's what Rasmussen gathered, apparently. 62, and Phil says 62% of Americans believe that there was election fraud. 62% in reality. As Seth said, that's more like 70 to 75. We continue to complete. That's not true. There's no way that's true. I've met too many people who don't. We continue to complete our part in the Great Awakening. It will be soon. Then he shares this video. He can feel it coming in his pants twice already on a text message. Hope there's some left. Oh, Lord. I just came again. Oh, Lord. Oh, I'll be by the fence to pick you up tonight. Oh, Lord. Already came twice in my pants. They're turning white. Oh, Lord.
The drum solo is what he's waiting on, so he looked cool.
Look out. He got a did he get I need to move the video so you guys can see it better. Did he get, sorry, that's from the sponsorship. He got like a Nazi light haircut. What is that? What did they call the hold on. What was the name of Nazi kid brigade? What is this? He looks like the Hitler Youth. He looks like he's part of the Hitler Youth while he's coming in his pants tonight. Ba-dump. That's all this is. I'm going to skip ahead some. Just a whole lot of, I can fit. I am Phil and I came in my pants tonight. Oh, Lord. It's happening again and it just feels right. Oh, Lord. I miss the rain in Africa, I think's the name of the song. Something like that. It's just a weird dead stare into the camera. I do not like the sides here. I am not a fan. He can feel it in the air tonight, obviously. Obviously, he can feel it in the air tonight. I think it's still going. Hell, I don't know. Did it stop playing? There it is. Oh, it reset. Anyways, so that is Phil's new video. Let's see what else we got. What else did he post? He says there will not be a live tonight. So he canceled his live on Thursday and he canceled it on Wednesday and he canceled it on Thursday. There will not be a live tonight due to circumstances beyond my personal control. The live will be tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. He shares a Comex silverboard. He shares an orange being peeled, or I guess that's a tangerine something. Tangelope. I don't even know what the fuck that is. Some type of fruit being cut. He says, I have major intel to report tomorrow at 7 p.m. He shares Chris
come
Miller.
bring it at me
instead
of everybody else.
What was that? Donate 1,400 bits. Thank you very much. That was from Mostly Peaceful Redhead. I appreciate that, Mostly Peaceful Redhead. He says, here's Chris Miller debunking her with his own words, along with his chief of staff. It's a Fox video he shared from The Storm Has Arrived. He shares something from Bullion, Bitcoin, and Bullshit with G-Money. He shares a post from Glenn Beck. He shares Trump files notice of appeal, which is just the notice that he plans to appeal. He forwards something from Grant H that says ex-prosecutor approached DOJ in 2018 with witness who claimed Joe Biden involved in robbery. But that is from Just the News, not necessarily a trustworthy website. And it says photo of the actual. Phil says about it, photo of the actual Joe Biden. I still can't believe some folks don't realize that the current Joe Biden is a body double. It's literally beyond my comprehension. Phil then shares a post from Paul Florent, who's Absolute 1776, says, holy shit, my state is waking up, and it is a non-famous. It says North Carolina joins Florida. SD against digital dollar as states become key CBDC battlegrounds. He shares a post from James Wood that says either impeach him or shut up. Just stop talking for the love of God and do something, responding to Kevin McCarthy. He shares this really weird post that says, comms. I'll just show you it. Okay. Here we go. Comms photographs in curly brackets. Then it says bisect force M $4 Taylor greater than Punch less than E-class Dr. Q's pay dirt. And it's 2 Colts. No, it's 2 cubic feet. A weird fucking picture. Now we're getting into some good stuff. Then he says incomes. Then he says this. Now this, I think the reason he came forward to this is because I'd already seen it in other places. I'd already seen Punch. Yes, Punch. Greater than Punch. P-O-N-C-H. He shares this post, and I had already seen it other places. Let me make sure it's going to pop up over here where we see it. And it says, hey, fam, Carrie and I just closed on an investment property in the U.S. Virgin Islands. We found an absolutely amazing property on the Caribbean island of St. Thomas, and we have decided to use. I had seen it probably 4 or 5 hours before he posted it. Someone posted it in my chat, and I'm sure it was posted somewhere else first. But Truth or Roast is actually the one I saw posted. I don't know who to credit with it, but that's who I saw posted. We found an absolutely amazing property on Caribbean island of St. Thomas, and we have decided to use that place as an Airbnb VRBO. If any of you would like to book Sea La Ville Villa for your next vacation, the links are below. I've included both the Airbnb and the VRBO links, but the calendars are connected, so you can use either one. Just depends on what your preference is. And he shares this home, which was just purchased. Was it like a $3.5-4 million, something like that? $3 million, $3.5 And he shares this home. I mean, it's a beautiful fucking home built right into the fucking mountainside there. Got that lower private pool. It averages, I looked it up, it averages about $1,000 a night. I looked it up in like July, after July 4th, but like a week for July. It was like $998 a night on Airbnb. But it's a beautiful place. But there you go. Phil bought a new home. Deck's overlooking the blue ocean there. Bathrooms, bedrooms, wraparound deck, the cool shower, this sunken bedroom. I mean, it's a cool place, but I don't know what else to say about it. Damn. The private pool, I think we went around a couple times. Oh, no, we haven't. These are new pictures. Did I just skip through a bunch of them? I think it's cool the way it's kind of built into this cliffside. That's a cool feature of it. I don't know if he'll make a lot of money off Airbnb or if it'll even pay for itself. But there are people who do buy properties like that. Like they'll get them. Phil might have paid cash for this. I didn't look at the documents very closely. I can go look at them. But there are people who will finance a place and Airbnb will basically make their payments because they're in such a high demand like tourist area. But I guess Phil probably paid cash for it. Then he says, then he forwards a post from Kelly. I guess people were complaining about how expensive it was maybe because Kelly says it allows for 10 people. 5 couples at $200 per night each. It's a steal. Congrats to Phil and Carrie. What a gorgeous property. And Phil says 100%. Then he goes with his live now post, which is where we are going to now. Let me grab it. Jesus, why are people... The one time I don't close the group and like people just start fucking posting in there. Like the group's closed when I'm live. Please don't post in there. I don't get it. Anyways, let me clean these up, and we are going to the Rumble video to watch it. Let me get rid of these posts right quick. So I like my link to be the lowest link. That way, if people come into the chat and they have no idea I'm live, that's the first thing they see. That's why I close the group. Well, that and because people share other people's video links, taking views away from us. But the biggest thing is about keeping the link at the bottom. All right, let's go over to Phil's video and see what he's got to say. It's called The Oranges. The Oranges. May 12th, 2023. These commercials are so freaky, dude. Oh my God, shut up. Let me get a copyright strike over here. It is about an hour and 11 minutes with about probably a 40-minute intro, so it's about 20 or 30 minutes. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'll turn the audio in just a second. Rambler, the Gambler, and the Backbiter.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon on the West Coast, where I am. Good evening-ish on the East Coast.
Here we go.
Thanks for tuning in tonight. I do have a rather serious intel drop that I think you guys are going to want to know. A couple announcements to make before that. And I don't think we're really going to have a super...
No, I do not think Carrie's name's on it. I'm going to go grab the post right now, but I do not think Carrie's name's on it at all. And the reason I don't think Carrie's name's on it is because he put it in his LLC. He put it in, I think it's just called Phil's LLC. 10 guests maximum, no pets, quiet, no parties or events, no commercial photography, no smoking. Additional rules, children allowed ages 0 to 17 with adult supervision. Oh, that looks bad. Quiet hours are from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. is what they're making fun of. Yes, if you are playing the game, thank you very much. That does help the channel. It's just like making a donation to the channel, but you're doing a good job. A lot of people are starting to call it Philstein Island. It was 3,350,000. 3,350,000. So there you go. Okay, here it is. So they have a picture of it. This is from Truth or Roast, or at least that's who posted it in my chat. Forwarded from Truth or Roast, yeah. And it says, Phil's new St. Thomas property, $3,350,000. C. La Phil, LLC. C. La Phil, LLC. 1235 Lantern Hill Road, Shavertown, PA. A U.S. Virgin Islands limited liability company purchased. Parcel number C44, a.k.a. Lot 49, Ill Estate, Lovenland. Number 2, Great North Side Quarter, St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands, containing 0.72 acre, more or less, on March 21st, 2023. Deed can be found at, and then they got a warranty deed, and it says this warranty deed made on the 21st day of March, by and between Kiwi Luxury Properties, a U.S. Virgin Island Limited Liability Corporation company, whose mailing address is 1211 Denby Lane, Wayne, Pennsylvania, 19087, hereinafter referred to as Grantor, and C. La Phil, LLC, a U.S. Virgin Islands Limited Liability Company, whose mailing address is 1235 Lantern Hill Road, Shavertown, PA. So no, it's in his business's name. It's in an LLC's name, C. La Phil, SEA space LA space PHIL, C. La Phil. I wonder why he didn't promote that some pets are allowed and called it like C. Pedophile or something like that.
Long live stream.
That'd be a good name.
It's going to be more of a subdued version of some of the lives that I've done recently. Maybe an hour and 15 minutes or so. I was thinking about holding a Q&A at the end, but I'm going to hold that off until probably sometime this weekend. Or maybe
no Q&A. So you're out.
That for the next live. But I want to get this intel out to you guys because I know with 100% certainty that no one else has told you this yet. And
okay, brand new intel. No one has told us yet.
Super.
Petrophil.
Tell you what I have. I really wanted to go live last night. My apologies for missing that one. But that was completely out of my control. I could not go live last night. I was not
The reason my mouse wasn't working earlier is you guys know I have this drawing pad that I use this pen. This has happened to me probably 5 times over the last year or so. I've been in this office over a year. So over the last year or so, and I never can remember what causes it. But if this pen rolls down on the drawing pad and for some reason the magnetic tip or whatever is stronger that day and it picks up the tip, it holds my mouse just on one screen. And I always forget what's doing it. So I start checking on my mouse and my keyboard and my charging pad. I'm like, what the fuck? And every time I bump the table, it does it worse. But now I'm going to have to make myself a note. I'm like an amnesia patient.
Able to go live last night, and had I gone live last night, there would have been repercussions for going live last night. And that's really all I could say about that. Is my shirt a calm? Sure is. Anyway.
I'm just over here trying to get a buyout. Everybody's like, oh my God, I love the way you cover Phil. You're so honest. You're such a good guy. And I'm like, look, tomorrow, motherfucker, you send me a check with enough zeros behind it, out of this motherfucker.
Geez, where do I even begin here?
I'll sit back and laugh and point while someone else takes the coverage.
Last 7 days. And tonight,
Katie's got it. Don't worry.
In addition to the lot that happened in the last 7 days, we're going to talk about something that I have not necessarily spoke about, and I shy away from speaking about very often.
I feel like I do have integrity, obviously, and I have a responsibility, obviously. But I got 2 kids, and we're fucking struggling. So I don't want to be the struggle guy anymore.
I don't like talking about it. I don't like putting it out there because mine's.
You listening, Phil?
Things get thrown into oblivion. But I'm going to talk.
Yes, he would have gotten repercussions if he went live from his agents.
Talk about it tonight. So this is a very. This is going to be a different one. It's going to be a different live stream, and that's why I encourage everybody to be here. The reason for the cancellation last night was to literally go over some restrictions on what I do say. And I just couldn't get that all done in time for last night. So now we are all...
He said it was a major... what did he call it? A personal issue? Let me go look again. Sorry. I already closed it. But Phil Goldewski 3.0. Because now he's saying that he had to go over this with the secret agent guy so they could tell him exactly what he could say and exactly what he couldn't say. I have major intel to report. I think he just said the major intel part because people were pissed that he canceled again. Oh, no, he said due to circumstances beyond my personal control. I thought he said it was a personal issue. He just says circumstances due beyond my personal control, so I was wrong there.
On the same page, and what you're going to hear tonight, I think you're going to like it. I think. But then again, some of my audience don't like anything that happens, even if it's like really good, ever. So I'm not sure about some of you, but I think the vast majority of you are going to have a really good...
Oh, you're good, Pabs. No big deal.
So before we get into that, I wanted to mention this again because we have had an enormous response to this, and I'm super proud of it.
If I could go back in a time, I've thought about this over and over and over again. If I could go back, I had we campaigned basically for Trump over Biden. We tried to cover it as fairly as possible, as accurately as possible, but you could tell, obviously, I was a Trump fan. I wanted Trump to win over Biden. I voted for Trump. So did Mariah. I had a decent audience at that time on Twitch. They ended up banning me on election night, which was shitty and pissed me off, and I left. But if I had went back and with my knowledge, my skill, my live streaming abilities, my military experience, I'm a decently smart guy, and I can turn on the charm if I have to. I can't be like, I can be funny. That's my charm. I can't be like cordial or make you feel safe, but I can be funny. And went back to Grifton, I could be sitting on, $100-some million.
And it's probably, other than Gold Quiz, probably one of my...
Oh, I bet you're the roast.
Major accomplishments, if not the top accomplishment that I've had since breaking onto this podcasting citizen journalist scene. The refunds that have been given to my followers through the Employee Retention Credit Act from the IRS. For those of you that don't know, if you were a business owner during the pandemic.
I wonder if I could get a buyout big enough to fund someone else's lawsuit and then double down on it when they win a settlement.
Of COVID. And you have W-2 employees and your business declined because of COVID, and you could prove that via tax returns and payroll reports and, so forth. You are eligible for up to $26,000 for each of those employees that you had hired.
That is technically true, but it's been true for 2 years now, and it'll be true until next year. Most people who had a legitimate business and had a legitimate accountant that prepared their things would have known about this.
Now, I wasn't even going to mention this tonight, but
an accountant doesn't want to fuck you over on taxes, okay? He wants to make you more money. He wants to put more money in your pocket because he knows you'll pay him more money. He knows you'll be there for him, right? They're not hiding these things from you.
Carrie and I just installed a pool in our Havasu home. And the pool tech was here. He's the guy that basically puts all your pool controls on the app on your phone. You can control them from, away from the pool, turn the lights on, turn the fountains on, turn the fire pits on, turn all that, just the hot tub, turn all that stuff on.
Oh, I must have missed that. Hold on.
The reason for the cancellation last night was to go over and things get thrown into oblivion. In the last 100% certainty that no one else has told you this yet. And I'm super anxious to tell you what I have. I really wanted to go live last night. My apologies for missing that one, but that was completely out of my control. I could not go live last night. I was not able to go live last night, and had I gone live last night, there would have been repercussions for going live last night. And that's really all I could say.
I don't know if I believe that, Phildo.
Anyway, geez, where do I even begin here? So a lot happened in the last 7 days, and tonight we're going to talk about something that I have, in addition to the lot that happened in the last 7 days, we're going to talk about something that I have not necessarily spoke about, and I shy away from speaking about very often. I don't like talking about it. I don't like putting it out there because minds wander and things get thrown into oblivion. But I'm going to talk about it tonight. So this is going to be a different one. It's going to be a different live stream, and that's why I encourage everybody to be here. The reason for the cancellation last night was to literally go over some restrictions on what I do say. And I just couldn't get that all done in time.
Yeah, someone said earlier that there was 455 miles of wall built. So the number 50 comes from new wall where there is no wall that exists. The number 455 comes from replacing wall, repairing wall, patching wall, or replacing it.
For last night, so
it's still way short of 2,000.
On the same page, and what you're going to hear tonight, I think.
And Mexico didn't pay a dime.
I think, but then again, on the same page, and what you're going to hear tonight, I think you're going to like it. I think, but then again, some of my audience don't like anything that happens, even if it's like really good ever. So I'm not sure about some of you, but I think the vast majority of you are going to have a really good intel drop tonight. So before we get into that, I wanted to mention this again because we have had an enormous response to this, and
it absolutely is those things. I mean, it's 100% is those things. Well, I think he lies about his viewer numbers. He lies about his wealth. He lies about things as well. But yeah, he is at the top tier of 7K, which we figured that out. That's paying him what? It was like $12,500 a week. He was at Melaleuca a long time. He's got hundreds of businesses paying to be on that website. I never remember his name. It's like Phil is on a minor or something like that. He's got hundreds of people paying that. He's got donations coming in every show. And his monetized platforms are monetized on views, per 1,000 views. When you get millions of views, even on YouTube, when you get millions of views on a video, you're making tens of thousands of dollars. Now, Rumble's ad revenue is lower, for sure, than anywhere else, but it's still thousands of dollars. And he used to do 4 videos a week where he was make tens of thousands of dollars. Like, I'm not saying he has millions of live viewers, but a lot of his videos get millions of views after they've been posted. And that'll just come in monthly, just over and over again. Plus $12,500 a week, plus whatever he's got these businesses on their monthly plan. A lot of those people weren't even allowed to disconnect. Plus thousands of people on locals paying whatever a month. Plus thousands of people on his website they couldn't cancel when it was down, paying whatever a month. Yeah, he's making money hand over fist.
I'm super proud of it, and it's probably...
Not to mention if any side deals, any sponsored deals. I know a guy on YouTube that has a few 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, a couple 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, and he was offered $40,000 for a 10-minute video with an ad read at the beginning and an ad read at the end. $40,000, a car, for an ad read at the beginning and the end. His gut cleanse, his mini chainsaw, his everything he's got has an affiliate code. So if you go to buy them, not to mention his gold rollover plan. So if you don't know, Phil makes, I'm estimating here. Okay, so let's say that Phil makes 5%, which is probably a pretty good number. He's probably making 6 or 7%. I looked it up one time and it was somewhere around there. But let's say 5% because I think it was 6, and that'd give him the low end. And then let's say that his average 401k rollover. 401k is your retirement, and there's people that have been working a long time, elderly people that have retirement. And let's say his average rollover, it starts at 50,000. If you're below 50,000, they won't even let you roll it over. But let's say his average rollover is $500,000, $500,000, which wouldn't be out of question. 400, 500, 300,000, somewhere in there. But let's say it's 500,000 at 5%. He's making $25,000 per rollover. And when he first kicked that off, I bet you he was getting 3, 4, 5 a day. When people hang on his words, people do what he says, and when they do it, he gets fucking paid. Everything he does has an affiliate link. Everything he does has a tracking code. Everything he does has a kickback. Everything he does, he's getting paid. He's making money hand over fist, and it's violently coming in, which is kind of mind blowing.
Other than Gold Quiz.
Yeah, I would say 500,000 is probably a conservative number, and so the reason I'm picking 500,000 is because I don't think that his audience is terribly wealthy. Like, there's probably podcast audiences that are wealthier, that discuss different topics. But I'm saying with Phil's audience, mostly conservative, mostly Trump supporters, they're probably not on average terribly wealthy. Most people like to have like $1 million in their retirement account. We're taking half of that.
Probably one of my major accomplishments, if not the top accomplishment that I've had.
He makes 5% or 6%. I think it's 6, honestly, but I'm calling it 5. When you go to philsilver.com, or no, I'm sorry, when you go to goldquiz.com, it does one of two things. If you have at least $50,000 in a 401k, it sends you to Goldco and tries to sign you up for Phil Silver for $7K. That's it. That's the only company on there. If you don't have $50,000, it just tries to do Phil Silver. And when you do that, it gives you a link with Phil's tracking code. And for Phil, when you click that link at Goldco, it automatically logs you as his customer. I don't know how long the cookie's for, but it's probably for at least a month. Sometimes, especially with big decisions like this, it might be a 6-month link. But however long the cookie's for, which basically remembers like the last time you were at that website, if you make any financial decision with Goldco, whatever you give to Goldco within that amount of time that you click Phil's link, gives him 5% of it. So if you put $1 million in there, he makes 5% of it. If you put 500,000 in there, he makes 5% of it.
Since breaking onto this podcasting citizen journalist.
That's why for a while, he started pushing, personally, I believe, that's why he started pushing Goldco harder than he started pushing 7K. He had signups coming in on 7K. He was working those signups. He's getting people to sign up. And he's like, fuck this Goldco. All I do is set up a fucking website. They click it. When they go to it, it automatically attaches a link. I don't have to talk to nobody. I don't have to set an appointment. I don't have to put them in my downline. I don't have to do training. I don't have to do nothing. And I get 5% right off the bat. But then I feel like a lot of people pulled out of 7K. So he started pushing it again, right? Because he's got to keep himself up in that presidential level to get that highest tier. I heard that the Todd fell out of presidential gold. He might be back now, but I heard for a while he fell out. He even shared a post the other day about I think he said, here's just a portion of the thousands of appointments we're getting through Phil Silver, something. Yeah, it says, small example of the hundreds of appointments that come into philsilver.com every single day. My PSI team is ready to take your appointment. Come learn the ins and outs of the precious metals industry. There's the video. But there's no way to tell how old this video is, right? Oh, I guess there are dates right there. 5/7. Well, it went all the way to 5/7. Hold on. 5/7/23. Not to mention, like, he could also set this up with bots. There's a bunch of ways to do this, right? But he's sharing people's names that have scheduled to meet with PSI. And he's at the top of that food chain, which they're not letting him go any higher. There's nowhere he can go. He's maxed it out. And I think he's not getting along too well with 7K right now. And that's why he hasn't been to 7K events. That's just my own personal feeling. I don't know. I know other people have alluded to it. I'm not sure. I don't have any proof. So they were supposed to make him a new position above presidential gold. They're not. So he's not worried about signing up a ton of people to move him up. He's worried about keeping his presidential gold because that secures his money. As long as he's got enough points, he gets $12,500 a week. Plus, he's got people below him that he needs to move up. He's got LLCs below him. He would like a presidential gold. He's got carry below him. He'd probably like a presidential gold. And I would say he's heavily stacking on those sides if I had to guess. I don't know. But yeah, he's making a ton of fucking money. Like a literal ton of money.
Followers through the employee retention credit.
It's insane what you can do when you have, you know, a few 100,000 people that listen to, that are scared to death that the market's going to collapse. They're going to lose everything. That Biden's trying to take over the world with the Mexicans and Trump's the world leader with Russia and China, and they listen to you at that rate. Like, I've got a really dedicated audience, and it always surprises me. Like, right now, donations have been down, the economy's bad, blah, blah, blah. But if I come to you guys and I said, hey, like, we're struggling, like, fucking lights are going to get cut off in something, I know money would flood in. When you decide to do that, when you decide to play your audience's belief, like, it can backfire on you. But it also, if you have a dedicated audience to you, which I feel like I do, it can make them really fucking turn out. I feel like you lose credibility the more you do that, though. Like, he keeps saying, oh, silver's going to take off. Oh, Nasara Gasara. Oh, the banks are going to collapse. So every time he does it, he loses a little bit of credibility, and less people do. But there's still got to be a ton of people doing it.
Credit Act from the IRS. For those of you that don't know, if you were a business owner during the pandemic of COVID, and you have W-2 employees,
we can skip this part.
$26,000 to home. And the pool tech was here. He's the guy that basically puts all your pool.
Is he paying taxes? I'm not Phil, right? And I don't file his taxes. I'm not his accountant. The last thing that I've seen is that he's not filed taxes in several years. Does that mean that he doesn't plan on it? I would hope not. Hopefully he decides to file at some point.
Controls on the app on your phone. You can control them from, you know, away from the pool, turn the lights on, turn the fountains on, turn the fire pits on, turn all that, you know, the hot tub, turn all that stuff on from your phone. And he overheard me talking to his employees who were cleaning the pool this morning because the pool's new, you got to brush it a certain way, whatever. And they asked, what do you do? Like, why do you live here? You look like you're 18 years old. They didn't say that, but I think they were insinuating that. And even if they weren't, I'm going to go with that anyway because I think they're right. Anyway.
Phil, I understand you're with this like new brand of self-flattery. I got it. I hear that. Uh-oh. Somebody did it. A player rallied an attack on a lair. Thank you very much. That's 15 out of 15. That'll reset that goal right there. And then it'll move up to 26 or whatever it's supposed to be. I feel. Like, I know you're with this new brand of self-flattery or whatever. Keep working on the game, guys. Thank you. But no one thinks you're 18 years old. The same reason no one thinks I'm 18 years old. I mean, I've been confused of like 26, 27, and I'm 34. Sure. Especially when I got my baby face on and I don't ever shave my beard off, but sometimes I cut it short. No one thinks you're 18 years old, bro. No one. Not a single motherfucker. Not a pool boy who's probably 16, 17, 18 himself. Not a pool installer. Not a blind immigrant from Mexico who just got through when Title 42 collapsed. None of them. No one thinks you're 18, bro.
Anyway, terrible start tonight here, guys. Terrible start. I'm just going to say a quick prayer. All right.
Wait a second. Was that... let's do this in real time so I don't cheat him none. Let's hear Phil's quick prayer.
Terrible start tonight here, guys. Terrible start. I'm just going to say a quick prayer.
Jesus wept. Oh. Hit him with the shortest verse in the Bible. Hit him with the shortest verse. and barely got it out. Damn it, Phil. Damn it. That is wild. John 11:35. I couldn't even fit that in. John 11:35. Jesus wept. I feel like Jesus might weep every time you pray, if he even hears your prayers. But I don't think that was a quick prayer. That was something else.
Terrible start tonight here, guys. Terrible start. I'm just gonna say a quick prayer.
John 11:35. Jesus wept. Okay, I can fit it. I want to be as litigious as possible. Okay, I can fit it in there. It kind of sounds blurry, like maybe I've had some of that secret carry sauce, but it is. I can fit it.
Talking about my podcasting, and the guys asked, well, what topics do you cover? And I said, well, it all started with the election fraud in 2020, and I started with a small audience on Facebook, ended up getting banned off of YouTube when I expanded, and I'm getting banned off of Twitch when I expanded, and I landed on Rumble, Locals, DLive, and I've been there since. And
remember when he said he knew the people at Amazon? I know the guys that run Twitch, okay? It's not Jeff Bezos and Amazon. The white hats took it over. They're not getting your money for the deep state cabal, and they're not going to get rid of me. They're not going to silence me, and then I get 100% of the subscriptions.
Told them that I pretty much
best deal in Twitch streaming history, and no one even heard about it but Phil. Didn't make the news. It didn't make all the people who cover. There's news agencies that just cover Twitch streamers, news streamers, blowing up streamers, streamers that have been around for a while, streamers with the most steady audience, streamers with the biggest audience, streamers with the most excitement around them. No one said a word. Uh-oh. Somebody got something. A player routed an attack on a lair. Good job. It's another one. Keep going, guys. Thank you. We need some more people to reach level 5 on their headquarters, but we're getting there. Thank you.
My show around political aspects and happenings that are going on around the world, and talk about the cabal, talk about all that stuff. So their boss was overhearing this.
Let's effing go. That's right.
He said, and he left. That was yesterday. And he left. He came back today. He said, I went to your Rumble channel and I watched your last video and your second to last video, which would have been the rapid fire as well as run them. And he said, I have 19 employees. I said, oh. I said, you talking about the ERC thing? He said, yeah. I said, did you have them during, the COVID years, 19 and 20? He said, yeah. He said, I actually had more back then. I said, do you W-2 your employees? He said, yeah. I said, you got all your paperwork in order? You got your taxes? You got your payroll reports and all that stuff? He said, I got all that. I got a really good accountant that handles all that.
You got it?
I said, you're looking at it.
He said, yeah.
And he is. He's looking at most likely $26,000 times 20-something. So you're looking at $500,000 there, and he's super excited about that, and I'm super excited for him because he's a great guy. And I just love, like I said, I think this is probably one of my most proud endeavors is helping you guys get back what you deserve from.
I can't believe that people with W-2 employees wouldn't fucking know about it. Even TurboTax. When I told them I own my own business, even TurboTax made me go through and check no that I don't have employees. I'm a single person business, right? They even made me go through and check those boxes. Like I just find it so hard to believe that no one knew about this until Phil brought it up.
The COVID, the drop
for 2 years,
and everything that the government unleashed on us when they unleashed that virus on us. And most of you know that even if you had COVID, you were fine. But it's not.
That's right. Use his link so he gets 5% of your return too.
The virus that caused the problem. It was the government that caused the problem. The government put a lot of businesses out of business, especially small businesses, but even some larger national ones. And that was all for political motive. They needed those mail-in ballots. They needed them because the algorithm alone, if it stopped working for some reason, if the Dominion algorithm stopped working in the 2020 election and it didn't work properly, or if something happened, Trump was
clearly this isn't true,
and they could not risk that. So they did whatever they.
Here's the problem with your algorithm theory. Every algorithm theory I've heard is a 1 point something. Okay? A 1 point something. Even if it fluctuates, even if it moves, even if it's sometimes 1 to 1 and sometimes it's 1.1 to 1 point something. They claim that it worked in it didn't work in 2016, but it did work in 2020 because they bumped it up a few point something, right? A 1 point anything. If it's 1.000000000000001 cannot fail. Not to mention not only cannot fail, it would give so many fucking more votes to the other person. So what they're saying is, let's say that for every vote that Donald Trump got, and we'll use full numbers here, that Joe Biden got 1.1. Okay? No, this is 1 point. They had to turn it up in 2020. So let's say 1.3. So let's say that Donald Trump got 75 million votes. Okay? 75 million votes times 1.3. Now, we know Joe Biden didn't get 0 votes. Let's just guess the number in the millions of how many million votes Joe Biden got. Well, let's do half of what Trump got. So we said Trump had 75 million votes. Let's go with Joe Biden got 40 million. That's half of what Donald Trump got. Let's say he got 30 million. That's even less. Okay, 30 million votes. Even less than half of what Trump got. Now, all I used was 1.3. And he got 30 million. So 75 million. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 75 million times 1.3 equals plus 30 million. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would show on the record board as Joe Biden had 127 million using 1.3. What about 1.1? Okay, 75 million times 1.1 means that just for the Trump votes, that would mean Joe Biden got 82,500,000 just for the Trump votes at 1.1. And then plus 30 million means that Joe Biden would have got 112 million votes. That's just at 1.1. What they're trying to say, but their tiny brain can't comprehend, is there would have been some type of weird algorithm that was like 0.3. Now, I know that sounds weird, right? I know that sounds weird. It seems like you get less. It's not 1. It seems like you get less votes than Trump. They're not counting the actual legitimate votes he got, because you can't say the man got 0 votes. We've all met someone who's voted for Joe Biden. So if Trump got 75 million, and let's do times let's say 0.5, plus 50 million legitimate votes, that puts him at 87. But they can't even come up with their own fucking theory because they're too dumb to recognize how a multiplier works.
They could, and it's obvious there was election fraud. Everything is out there now. Everything is out there now for people to just research it themselves.
People keep saying he's dyeing his hair. I've saw other people say he gets hair plugs. If he had hair plugs, I think we would know. His scalp would be super red. I watched a guy get it on TikToks. He couldn't shower for like fucking 2 weeks at all. There was a time where he had to lotion it. And then there was a time there was no lotion, and his whole scalp peeled off with like these little dots from they went in and put them. Like, I think we would know. Now, does he color his hair? Maybe. I don't think it's hair plugs, but I've been wrong before. I just don't ever remember it.
And they'll find it. But back then, they needed...
It's been years ago.
COVID did to steer the election. And
he does look like a lot like Bert from Sesame Street. Hold on. I'm trying to get a similar picture here. Can you see the likeness there? Can you see the likeness there? I believe I can, honestly. I mean, the eyebrow's a little bit different, but Bert's not angry right now. Sometimes when Bert gets angry, his eyebrows will do like a W, like Phil's. Like they're doing the fucking electric wave or some shit. Yeah. Like they're doing the cha-cha slide.
And throw the election to this fake Joe Biden, whoever the hell this character is, and get Trump officially out of office. Obviously, it didn't work because we know what's going on behind
I personally love the Hitler Youth sides.
the scenes. However, you are still entitled to that money.
Now, Phil could make fun of me because I have a bald head. I actually shave my head. But I actually don't shave it for no reason. Mariah actually enjoys me shaving my head. She says when I go down on her giblets, it looks like her vagina had a great idea. A little light bulb popped up. So she enjoys that. It's kind of gratifying to her. It's like she runs around telling people, I guess she's got a smart pussy.
Up to $26,000 per employee if they were W-2 employees.
Oh, I said the word.
So I was telling them about it. We talked about it for quite a while. I gave them the link. Just so you guys know, the link is down below in the description of this video. It won't be on D-Live because there is no description to the video on D-Live, but on Rumble as well as Locals in the description, you'll see it there. It's Max Refund.
She's asked me to motorboat her before so she could see what it would look like to have 3 tits. I find it strange that she's fantasizing over that, but I'll motorboat just about anything.
MaxRefund.com. That's M-A-X refund.com/Phil. Very important to add the /Phil in there because what that
the reason it's important to add /Phil in there is so Phil gets paid. But he's going to tell you like you won't get a certain deal or you won't get a discount. He's negotiating. The /Phil stores the cookie that makes sure that whether you sign up immediately or you come back in 3 or 4 days with your paperwork, he gets paid.
What that does is it gets you a dedicated team for my followers only. We have our own little section of people who process your return to the IRS as soon as possible. If you guys didn't notice what's going on here, we are helping bankrupt.
Yeah, who are you, my fucking parole officer, Shack to the Future? So what if I get coked up and do a live stream? What's it to you? You got a digital piss test you want me to take? Jesus, back off.
The IRS/Federal Reserve. So the money that you're taking, the $500,000 or so that my pool guy is going to get, the money that you're taking is helping take down the cabal. We're going to talk a little bit more about that tonight too, later in the show. So do your part. If you're a business owner, that money is just sitting out there. They're going to charge you a little bit. I think they charge you 15 or 20% or whatever it is to rush the paperwork through and to do all of the legwork. But
15, 20% rushing the paperwork through and doing the legwork. You know, they charge you probably 15, 20%, and you know, they get 10, I get 5. But you know, they're doing all the legwork and they have to rush the paper. Well, can I not rush the paperwork and not pay the 10 or 15%? Oh no, that's the only option? Weird. The only option is rushed paperwork, even though it's good for another full fucking tax year, and all the legwork. It's weird. You can do it yourself on TurboTax and not pay any percent.
you don't get that, you don't pay that until you actually get your refund. There's no upfront cost. There's nothing like that. There's no tricks, nothing hidden. We have gotten so far to date 14 million. Last show I talked about this. It was like 4 or 6 million, I think. We're now up to $14 million.
I personally believe everybody's got a number that can be bought out. And I think it's advantageous for Phil that he has that much money right now. Like you might say in my chat, I could never be bought out. There's no way. He would never buy me out. Everybody's got some number. And if you don't have a number right now, it's because you're doing well, right? If tomorrow you were struggling, you would suddenly have a number. If tomorrow you were worried about the lights or worried about the rent or worried about your kids and, you know, fucking growing out of everything and whatever, going to college, you would suddenly have a number. To disappear or not cover somebody or not go through it anymore. If people tell me they don't have a number and they never would, no matter the circumstances, I call them a liar.
Dollars that we've drained out of the IRS and put back in your bank account. And that's my followers only. I'm super, super proud of that. I'm incredibly humbled and blessed to be in the position to help you guys and to tell you about this. And I hope that you do, if you were a business owner or were in business back during the pandemic, you do get to maxrefund.com/Phil. Maxrefund.com.
I don't know. I've actually thought about it. I don't know what it is, but I've thought about it before. I've thought about what all I'd be giving up, what that residual income would be, what, you know, these are some of my most popular shows a lot of times. What my Scott McKay did it, because Scott McKay's reached out to me personally before. Let's say Scott McKay did it. That'd be a different number than Phil doing it, than Mike Penny doing it, than whatever doing it. Or hell, fucking selling my show, being like, oh, well, I want the Cold Beer Confessional, and you're no longer the host. I'm going to host it. Okay. Well, there's a number for that, too, I guess.
/Phil. The /Phil is important. You'll get your money quicker. You'll have your own dedicated team, and you will be thankful. You'll be thankful once that check comes. Processing times now are anywhere from a month to 6 months. Depends on how quickly you have your paperwork. If you don't have your paperwork.
Yeah, I don't know. It's about like fantasizing about winning the lottery. Right.
Work on order. It's going to take longer. You got all your.
Mike Penny has a very, very, very large sum of money that he holds in a trust from a different guy who is an independent millionaire that owns a large manufacturing and distribution company for yard barns in like Alabama, Mississippi, Eastern Texas.
Your stuff, you send it in, boom. Some people are getting paid in under 60 days.
I'd suck Patriot Stream Funner's dick for a cool million. You'd have to fight me off of it first.
Do it. Let's keep adding to that $14 million total, and let's go. One more announcement: the mini chainsaw that you guys absolutely love.
Oh my god, dude! Are we still in the ads? We're fucking 30 minutes in this video. We're still doing ads.
Tens of thousands of this.
A yard barn is like those buildings they build for your backyard. It's like a storage or whatever. They bring them on a truck and deliver them. They build them in a factory. You see them at lots, setting places. They say, you know, rent to own or $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, whatever they are. There's a lot of money to be made in those. It used to be like these, like Mennonites built them, but now a lot of people are getting into it because it's a handy solution rather than using storage units or whatever. We had one at one time, which I paid like half down, and I think I made payments for a year and paid it off or something. But yeah.
This mini chainsaw. It is back in stock, but it is back in stock for a very, very, very limited time. They don't have a ton of these. It's a great gift for a birthday, for the person that you can never buy for on Christmas.
If I get bought out, anybody gets paid. It's going to be my moderators.
Because they have.
It'll be like our pimp.
This mini chainsaw is fantastic. It could cut 4x4s. It could cut tree limbs, depending on the size, of course, because it's mini. Branches. It could do a number of things. The link is down.
It can trim your pubes. It can manscape. It can get those hard to get nose hairs. It can chew through this eyebrow that I've fucking got, like Angry Birds looking motherfucker over here. Wah! The red bird being shot out. You know, it's a good mini chainsaw. Hell, look what it did to the sides of my head.
In my description, again, just like I described before, it's TAC-RIGHT, Phil, T-A-C, right, R-I-G-H-T, Phil.com, TAC-RIGHT-Phil.com. Limited time only. They only got a limited supply of these. Get to the website if you're looking for a good last-minute Mother's Day gift, or a birthday coming up, or any kind of gift for the outdoors person.
It can pull a mole right off a shaft. I'll tell you that much.
In terms of, trying to help you guys. Yeah, Father's Day coming up. Somebody just said on Rumble too. Father's Day coming up in June. You'll definitely have it in time for Father's Day. I think it's a little too late for it to arrive by Mother's Day. But you can always show them the video on that website, TACRightPhil.com. There's tons of video on there. You could say, hey, you guys ended up. Didn't this fool just buy a multi-million-dollar rental? Yes, this fool did.
But he's still advertising, guys. Okay, get a battery-powered chainsaw for mom. The fuck would she? What else would she want? What if she's trapped behind several wooden doors and the house bursts into flames because those stupid fucking scented candles she likes to burn down? Did you guys know there's a correct way to burn a candle? I just thought about that. There's a correct way to burn a candle and there's a wrong way to burn a candle. You're supposed to light a candle and then light all the wicks, however many wicks are there, and then let it burn until the entire top of it becomes liquid, somewhere between a half to a 1 inch depth. Then you're supposed to blow it out. Immediately, well, you trim the wicks before you start burning it because the wicks are a little tall, and then you blow it out, and that's where you get most of the scent from. Is when it's sitting there cooling and interacting with the air because it's super hot and heat flows to cold and it's flowing into the air. And then you relight it again, I guess.
Oh, by the way, thanks for mentioning that because now I can tell my audience. Carrie and I did purchase an investment property. I posted this on Telegram.
That's a beautiful home.
If you don't know, head over to Telegram and look at the links. It's in the U.S. Virgin Islands in St. Thomas. Beautiful, gorgeous property that Carrie and I intend to use.
All my mom wanted before, sadly, she left this world was a Chinese battery-operated mini chainsaw.
Investment and income purpose.
Luckily, I found them on Amazon for like $200 cheaper, but you can get one from Phil.
The link is there. The calendar is there. The calendar is open. There's some spots that are blocked out. We blocked out September because it's hurricane month down in the island, so we're not going to rent it out at all in September.
Amazing.
There are bookings already.
Amazing.
Have been booked for a while.
I can't do it. I wish I could do it.
So it's
Amazing.
10 people. If you and a couple couples that you're friends with want to go, you get 6, you get 10 people. Sleeps 10 comfortably. Very private place, right on the ocean. You can see forever across flat Earth. Gotta get that in there, of course. And we'd be happy to rent it to you guys. We have a property manager that takes care of everything for us, so don't contact me. There's a listing on Airbnb, and there's a listing on VRBO. So if you have an account on either of those sites, you can use whatever one you prefer, and you will really enjoy this place. It's about 5 minutes from Megan's Bay in St. Thomas. Megan's Bay is one of the most popular beaches in all of the islands combined, and it's minutes from...
I thought he was going to say something about Megan's Law and being around a school zone.
Restaurants, it's minutes from everything. It's paradise down there. It's right on the...
3,335,000.
You're facing, the back of the house faces Florida, pretty much. If you look straight out the deck into the ocean, Florida is up that way. Back behind you is the Caribbean Sea. It's a great property. So if you want to check it out, or if you're looking for a vacation somewhere to go, you can book it all the way into 2024. If you're not looking to go anytime soon, the winter months down there are usually the most popular months. So you'll have increased prices for those months. But like I said, if you get a group of you...
I think Phil got a lot of this habit from when he did sell real estate. When he sold real estate, a lot of times real estate with the economy is kind of feast or famine. So they teach you while the money making's good, make absolutely as fucking much money as you possibly can. So that's what he's doing.
You and your friends, husband and wives, that all want to split it. If you get 10 of you, it comes out to about $100 a night per person. So if you're interested in that, by all means, the links are on my Telegram channel. Don't contact me to book it. I'm not taking your booking. Everything's done through the website. So I want so much to talk to my adult sons about flat Earth, but one of them is still not talking to me after 2.5 years of this stuff. Well, don't worry, KW123, KW124. Your day is coming. It's coming soon. Contest winners.
What did you just say? I missed that. Sorry, I was reading something.
I want so much to talk to my adult sons about flat Earth, but one of them is still not talking to me after 2.5 years of this stuff. Well, don't worry, KW123, KW124. Your day is coming. It's coming soon.
Their name is KW124, and they are the expert on flat Earth that needs to advise their children about it. Got it.
Contest winners. That's the last thing I want to talk about before we get into the intel drop. I am going to list the contest, which is the only way for me to do it because it's...
Oh, I didn't add extra people. You might be right, Nick. What is it? Nick Paris. I just went there and selected dates. I didn't add extra people, but I'm sure there's a surcharge for extra people, and it was $200 a night. So you're probably right.
It's too long to do it in a live like this. I'm going to list the contest winners on my Telegram page. You are then responsible for reaching out to my assistant to get your coin mailed to you. That's how we're going to do it. If I announce them on the live tonight, everybody's going to contact me or not understand how to contact Tristan. So once I list all the winners on my Telegram channel, if your name is there, you will reach out to an email address that I supply you, also in the same post on Telegram. And
also, I know a lot of you are just dying for Kathy H news. She's turning on her own private chat. She just started calling fucking people out as being me, as being random trolls, as being associated with me. And I don't know none of these motherfuckers, but she's into calling them out.
You will say, I am this person. You're going to have to, show that is you. So a screenshot of your Telegram name or whatever to show that it's you.
Oh, I don't care if you say that I'm wrong, as long as I probably am wrong. But I did not add extra people. I don't even know if there's an option for it. I just put like July 27th through whatever made it like a full week, and it came out to $200 a night. There's a 3-night minimum, and I don't know if you get more nights if it gets cheaper, or if you do 3 if it's more expensive. I didn't try that either. I just did it quick while me and Mariah was talking about it.
We'll get that silver coin mailed out to you guys right away. Tristan will mail it out to your address. I'm not getting your address in any way. Tristan will. I'm not doing anything with this either. That's why I hired a full-time assistant to take care of these things while I have other things going on. So yeah, I'll list those.
Their day's coming.
Tomorrow, and then over the weekend, you guys could contact Tristan, and then by next week, we'll have those silver coins mailed out. Okay? One more thing right now, if you guys are watching on Rumble, please.
I think he used to lean away from like purchases and homes and investments and like bragging about it. But once he saw his audience doesn't care, And even when people expose, like, well, here's where his money went, well, here's a house he bought, well, here's something he did, and they would even cheer him on, it emboldened him to start bragging about it. And now the people almost like idolize him, like, man, I wish I would have had the business insight that Phil has. Maybe one day, if I keep following Trump, I'll get good enough.
Please give this video a thumbs up. That really pisses off all the trolls that are in the channel that continue to watch my videos. Who knows why? But please give the video a thumbs up. It also helps with the algorithm that Rumble implements to spread this video across more people that are like-minded, that like this type of material that we're talking about tonight. So please give it a like. You have to be a Rumble user. You have to have an account name in order to like the video. If you're not logged in, you can't like it. So go ahead and make an account real quick. It literally takes a second. That's one of the reasons actually why the watch count that's on the bottom, most of you guys that are watching are not registered. You don't have an account on Rumble, and I'm trying my best to get everybody onto Rumble because you're going to need to be there soon. So please do that.
That's absolutely not true. We've proven this time and time and time and time and time again. It would be the dumbest move, the absolute dumbest move for any platform to not list people that are watching anonymously. I can even embed a video. Like I could take my video from YouTube, embed it on my own website to where you can't even get to YouTube from it. It just pops up and plays there, and that counts as views. And you can't even sign into my website and you'd still count as views. They use IP addresses to prevent like view baiting, like watching on multiple screens or having it open on a bunch of different, on 100 tabs or whatever. But Rumble is a publicly traded company. And when they talk about specific creators, Rumble's numbers, internal numbers, match those creators' watch numbers, match those creators' view counts, match everything. So you couldn't somehow pull the fucking fast one on them and say, oh, I've got the unregistered users over. That's always been a lie. I tried to recreate it. When he came on to my interview, I told him I was running the exact same extension he was running, and I had been running it for months. My numbers matched perfectly with the extension. Then he said, oh, that extension doesn't exist anymore. They got rid of it. Maybe you got a different version. Then he went like probably a couple months without mentioning it. Then suddenly that extension was back somehow, and suddenly he had it again. But I still have the program, and it's the exact same.
One more thing that I want to talk about, and I'm going to leave a little ambiguity surrounding.
They count anonymous viewers, obviously. Obviously, they count them. That would be dumb not to. Are you? That's the numbers. How many people are watching are what they sell the company on, or what they sell to investors, or what they sell at stockholder meetings, or what they sell on people potentially coming to Rumble. What did you see? Such and such has it. Even Destiny was like freaked out by like the amount of viewers he got on Rumble. He didn't expect it to be that large, and it was. And when it was that large, even people questioned, like, you think they're padding the numbers? You think they're changing the numbers? And no, Rumble's obviously a right-leaning company, and Destiny's also a left-leaning person. And he's like, there's no fucking way. Could you imagine if they got busted, what they would owe to shareholders for fudging the fucking numbers?
I got something big coming. Big. And it has to do with streaming. And it has to do with...
oh, God.
A little bit of it has to do with Next Phase.
Oh, no. Next Phase, PH.
It's going to cripple the cabal.
Or like Phase Rug, F-A-Z-E.
Do that already, which we've done a lot towards that goal. But this one's going to be big, big. And
can we start calling it Frison? P-H-R-I-S-O-N? Frison?
Each of you could take a part and help do it. I'm not ready just yet to announce the details.
I've seen karma too many times fall through. I've tried to play by like karma's rules and like, oh, if you do the right thing, eventually you'll get it. And karma catches up to people who do this. And it does not seem that way to me. It does not. It seems like you have to lie, cheat, and steal your way to the top. Everybody else gets left in the dust. And those people pass on fucking inheritance and millions of dollars to their offspring, and they become wealthy.
On that, but I will be probably within a week. It's big. I've been working on something like this for quite a while.
Big. Huge.
It's big. I'm super excited to reveal it to you guys. That's all I can say for now. But hang with me and be ready for that announcement.
When I hear him, you guys remember Doug? This is what it reminds me of. I want Phil to get one of these suits, like Kanye West.
Bang it. On the trash can, bang it. On the street light.
Think big. Think big. Think big. Think big.
Think big.
Think big.
Ooh, yeah. One little voice is
big.
Wait a second. It gets better.
Calling me, calling. One little voice is
Calling me, calling me, calling.
You got to think big.
Big. Skater. Oh no. Drumming on a street light.
Huh? Hey, what the? Big. Come on, big, come on.
Think big. This is where they come up with a band that was doing semi-well, and she wanted to invest everything. There they are. Look at those suits. Wasn't Kanye West in a music video where he had like a giant suit on or something? Think big.
one little voice.
Doug's Garage Band. Bang out. This is all a dream he had. That's why I got wavy at the end. But that's what it reminds me of usually.
Announcement, which will come on a live stream, during a live stream, most likely sometime next week. Okay? All right. I got two things to reveal tonight, both of which I think you're going to like to hear. The first thing that I'm going to reveal does involve a little bit of...
No, there's so much in being honest and respectful. You wouldn't be able to sleep well. I can buy sleeping pills.
Half information. The other half I'm just not allowed to tell you at this time, but I could elaborate on it, and I'll give you a couple clues, too.
He can sort of elaborate on it, and he can sort of give you clues, but he cannot tell you, okay? He cannot tell you, okay? He cannot. Here's the one I was talking about with Kanye. Kanye and Lil Pump. Think big, Donda. Think big. They look like Roblox characters.
Sorry, that was gross. So over the last week, there have been a squeezing. I guess that's an appropriate word.
How many references, bottles, glasses, and words to alcohol are behind him? Subliminal messaging.
This episode is called The Oranges. There has been a squeezing of the
deep state oranges. Testicles.
Cojones.
There we go. We nailed it. So his big intel is that the white hats are squeezing the black hats' testicles. Boom.
And that squeezing has resulted in an extraordinarily high-profile death. If I were to say the name, every one of you millions that are watching right now, every one of you millions that are watching right now will know the name. Unfortunately, I am not yet at liberty to reveal that name. However, what I could say is this. You know who it is, and it is enormously big in terms of...
Well, to be fair, Phil wasn't a Christian until like, I don't know, 6 months ago. So maybe he's lengthening his prayer by 1 microsecond every day. And that's where we're at now.
The acceleration of what's to come, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes as well. This death that has occurred this week has not been announced anywhere yet. So if you heard it before today, that's not who it is.
Phil prayed longer than he's ever been a Christian.
I can tell you with 100% certainty that this is one of the top things that I've reported in 2.5 years that I've been doing this now. That is completely decompartmentalized. I should say compartmentalized, I guess. They have this in such a tight little box for a variety of reasons, but it will not be announced until the conclusion of everything that we're.
Jay Bird, I don't know what you're arguing with me about. If I get bought out, if I got enough money to where I was willing to fucking stop or to look away or whatever, I don't care if you watch or not. I didn't do it for viewers. I didn't do it for viewers. Everybody has a fucking number.
We're going through now, which
you can't tell me you don't. Imagine being fucking covered up in debt and starving and fucking kids are hungry and blah, blah, blah. And someone says, well, I'll give you $1 million if you just look the other way while I commit a crime. Of course you do. Everybody does.
In the future, by the way. And we're going to talk about that in a little while as well. The death that I'm speaking of came via suicide.
If you see me in the Virgin Islands, you can look the other way. Avert your eyes.
The cowards. Anyone ever hear of suicide weekend?
Oh, God. Yeah, that's for the Trump supporters when they realize all this is bullshit.
I remember hearing something like that. It was probably like a conspiracy theory, though.
Dr. J's over here trying to suck Patriot Street Fighter off for $1 million. I'm telling you, everybody has a number.
Suicide weekend. Now, I'm not saying that we just passed suicide weekend, as referred to in the Q drops, for those of you that don't know about it. I'm not saying that this past weekend was suicide weekend, but what I am saying is things are starting to look very, very intriguing when you start looking at some of those past.
I like to think of it as like a unaliving 3-day extravaganza weekend.
Q drops. Guys, listen to me. We have the playbook. We know what's coming next. It is in the Q drops. Everything is in there. Everything. From the clock to the drops themselves to timestamps. Many of us just don't look at them the right way. The white hats and the good guys had years to put this plan together, and that's when they introduced Q. Q came, started posting on alternative social media platforms. People flocked to it because it was.
Bug Dude says for $1 million, I'd help.
You know, those people kind of felt like something else was going on, and then there's Q to tie everything together, right? And then he started.
Yeah, Patriot Street Fighter wears Ash's chaps because he wears Ash's chaps because he thinks he's like this biker who can barely ride a motorcycle. We saw him kill it trying to pull out on the world's smallest incline. And Sasha Stone, who's never rode a motorcycle in his life, with a passenger on the back, pulled out and drove away, and Patriot Street Fighter killed it. He's actually laid it down a couple times, I hear, or like couldn't like stand up with it. It was too strong for his tiny little, or too heavy for his tiny little legs, and set it over.
Seeing all of these things that Q talked about happen, right? There are several, dozens if not hundreds of things that Q talked about that seems to tie into what's happening today and what's been happening for the last couple of years, but have not yet happened yet. I have news for you. They're going to happen. In fact, some of them have already happened, such as this particular death that we're speaking about right now. And we just don't know about it yet, but you know about it now. And I'm telling you, there is not a one of you sitting in that audience watching that doesn't know this person's name. All of you.
Hold the line.
Every one of you. Even your children, if they're watching. They know too. The squeezing. And it's a slow squeeze.
He is a tiny little man.
More like a massage
Street Fighter.
Squeeze, so to speak. But the squeezing and the massaging of the cabal was just too much.
Jaybird, fucking leave. God damn it. I've sat here and pandered to your ass and pandered to your ass and fucking pandered to your ass. You're upset over a hypothetical situation and you can suck my hypothetical dick. Sorry, I did believe you were better than that. Stupid me. God damn.
The walls were closing in and there was no escape. It reminds me of
every time you get fucked up or whatever the fuck you do every goddamn night, cuss me out and then show up in my inbox, fucking leave. Holy shit. I don't want to hold your fucking hand. I don't want apologies the next day. I don't want none of fucking leave. Holy shit. My whole goddamn chat has tiptoed around your fucking ass anytime after 7 fucking p.m. It's like there's a goddamn curfew for your crazy. Fucking leave. Go to other fucking chats and cuss me. Fuck you, Will Bird. Fuck you, Jay Bird. And take your goddamn issues with you.
Back in the days of Noah, when the men ignored Noah and they mocked Noah. And they saw him building this big ark, and when he tried to explain to people what was to come, you know, they just were relentlessly trolling him. That sound familiar, by the way? Because it happens to me on a daily basis. I'm not saying I'm Noah, but I'm saying the circumstances are very, very similar. I get told all the time that what you're talking about is not true and laughed at and made fun of and whatever. And none of that bothers me, of course, but
I have a very limited amount of patience through the day. And if I have to waste some on you, you're not worth it. I've got wife and the kids that I try to be patient with, that I clearly have fucking anger issues and PTSD. If I have to waste some on you because you can't control yourself like a goddamn gremlin being fed after midnight, I have no fucking use for you whatsoever. You've left my chat 30 fucking times. You sent me all kinds of weird fucking goddamn fucking stalker ex-girlfriend fucking weird goddamn messages and then delete them and then screenshot them, then send them back to me, then apologize the next morning. I don't have anything for you. Nothing here is for you.
I'll have my day. Everybody laughed at Noah until it started to rain. Wait till it starts to rain here. They won't be laughing anymore.
No, I don't have a secret lover. But it was like to that level. Like all these weird fucking messages like through the night up until 3, 4, 5 in the morning, cussing me out and talking about how horrible I was, then all deleted the next morning and apologies. It was just fucking weird.
This particular death,
it would have been easier to have a secret lover.
Really hit me hard the other day. It was the day that I recorded the Phil Collins video, the car video.
Oh no, that death hit him hard. Was it Phil Collins? And you felt it in the air? Was it electromagnetic shock or something?
It hit me hard. I don't mean I was upset. I was just emotionally shifted. We needed this person. We needed them gone a long time ago.
Ooh, and we got them now.
But it took this long to get where we're at, and it's good for humanity. It's good for our cause. It's good for our movement, and it is very, very bad for the deep state. Very, very bad for the cabal. A kingpin, so to speak, or a queenpin.
I mean, she doesn't believe the same as a lot of people in my chat, and we tried to make, we tried to go out of our way to make a, a decent environment, not hostile, and I tried to put up with this, but she went to another chat that like fucking hates me and just cussed me out one day because I said Trump and his cronies should be held responsible for any Q narrative they spread. And she was mad that I didn't say Trump alone, so she decided to cuss me out in a chat that doesn't like me. Or that's full of people that don't like me. And then all kinds of apologies. I don't get it.
Make sure I'm politically correct here. Not giving away any sort of...
Save them.
Unnecessary intel or unwarranted or disallowed intel. I can tell you this. I already knew that each and every one of you know who it is. I can tell you another clue. I've already left clues on my Telegram channel.
I know you've seen me be like empathetic to your situation, but you're about to see how fucking stone-faced I can be. I don't give a damn about your kids 1,300 miles away. I don't give a damn about your abusive husband. I don't give a damn about the issues you have. I don't give a damn what you got to say. Give a fuck about any of it. Not a single iota of a fuck. You've used up all of the extra I had. Kick rocks, you stupid cunt. That was all I had. That was all of it. That's all I had. I have a limited amount of people for all 300 viewers. You used everybody's tonight.
And it's for you to figure out. There's been 2 clues so far. I will continue over the next few days to post some more. I am not yet at liberty to tell you who it was. I hope to be. I don't.
Ooh, at liberty. Maybe it's Liberty Warrior.
No, keep in mind, guys. I'm not the one that runs this show. Well, I run my show, of course, but I'm not the one that runs the overall show. Right? I don't want to say follow orders, but I cooperate with the plan because I think the plan is for the overall good of every single person on this flat Earth. The Earth is flat. I don't know why you guys laugh every time I do that. It's not funny. It's flat. Go look. All you got to do is look.
There you go. Just look. When have your eyes ever deceived you? You want to know how the biochemistry in the human body works? You want to know how you defend off the common cold? Just look. When have your eyes ever not given you the answer? Never. Just look.
Second piece of intel that I think is going to think it's going to rock your socks a little bit on your feet.
I feel like not only am I still obsessing over what happened in chat, but other people, like when they see you like go out of your way to like help them out in a bad time, or give them the benefit of the doubt, or be empathetic to their situation or whatever. It's like some type of fucking trigger that they can just start pouring. Oh, he did it once, so just fucking pour it on. I think Phil does the same thing to his audience.
Some of
gaslighting and
what I'm about to tell you did have a little bit to do with the recent death, but much more of it had to do with some.
He's sort of Q sometimes. Sometimes he's Q when Ron Watkins signs him into it.
Happened also over the last week or two, and other events that are set to happen over the next week or two. We are looking at, I can't believe I'm talking about this. I can't believe I'm even going to say this. I can't believe these words are going to leave my mouth, because this is something that I've avoided for a very long time. I'm going to talk about timeline.
Trauma dumping. That's a good phrase.
Things are going to be ramping up between now and the end of June. And I mean significantly ramping up. There are going to be events that happen between now and June 20th that are eye-opening to the masses, not just to those of us who are awake and we're already aware of a lot of this stuff, but to others who are not awake. And that now has the focus of the White Hats. The White Hats.
Yes, his intel is someone died that everybody would know, but he can't tell you because then everybody would know.
Hats know that people that watch me and people that watch.
Because the White Hats were massaging the downstairs giblets of the Black Hats.
And people that watch Bongino, and people that watch Brad, and people that watch, this truther community, so to speak. The White Hats know that you guys are awake. We have...
Hell, we still waiting on December 2021.
accomplished our goal to awake as many patriots as we possibly can about the actual events that are happening. Not what the media wants you to believe, but about the actual events that are happening. We've accomplished that, number one. Number two, we have accomplished waking up both sides, both parties, as well as independents, as well as undecideds, that there is election fraud. Seth Kishel, who I have a lot of respect for, put out a...
Is his name Keshel? Is it Kitchell? I thought it was Keshel. Like, it's still got a T in it, but it's not
Rasmussen poll that just came out the other day. I put this on Telegram, I think yesterday or the day before, that an average of 72% of people, now that's across Republicans, Democrats, independents, undecided voters, 72% of people now believe that the 2020 election was fraudulent. 72%. That
again, Rasmussen, like you can trust him if you want to. I can't.
David 2023 just gifted 1 subs.
Thank you very much. To it looks like Sevens 80, or is that Savinaz? It's got an extra E, so it's not 7. Savinaz 80. But someone gifted a sub. Thank you very much for gifting a sub. I appreciate that. That was from David L 2023. Thank you for the gifted sub.
That means 72% of people don't think that the president that's in office should actually be there. We're not talking about policies or anything like that. We're talking about 72% think the election was stolen. I got news for you. It was.
Oh, what I was saying about Rasmussen, I can't go out and debunk them. But Rasmussen oftentimes has much, much, much different polling numbers than other polling places when they're generally asking the same questions. I don't know. I've gotten to where I don't trust them. Like I do a lot on what is it? Well, when it's politics time. What is it? What is the name? 538 or whatever, and they have a ton of polls, and most of them will be pretty close to each other. But for some reason, Rasmussen's always all over the place.
Now that number.
I don't think it's plugs. I don't know. I think he's coloring his hair, but I've been wrong before.
A lot higher amongst Republicans. It's a little bit lower amongst Democrats, but I still think that the statistic that I was looking at was 52% of Democrats think the election was stolen. And I'm not talking stolen like, they did something illegal. I'm talking about election fraud. The same election fraud that we've been talking about. The mail-in ballots.
I'm not talking about like stolen, like they did something and stolen.
And I'm not talking stolen like, they did something illegal. I'm talking about
they did something illegal. What?
The same election fraud that we've been talking about. The mail-in ballots, the mini algorithms, the mules, all that stuff. We've done our part. I could sit here all day and talk about election fraud. I could sit here all day, talk about the cabal.
Ballads.
All day, talk about the deep state. I could sit here all day and keep rehashing topics that we talked about for 2.5 years, but that's not going to awake anybody else further. Yeah, there's topics I could talk about that we haven't talked about.
We're done waking people up. It's time to move.
You guys into how bad our history actually is with this group that has taken control of the United States for the last 100 years. But that's not going to make you more awake. You already know that the basics of, well, not just the basics, but the intricacies of the details and the details of what's going on right now. Now, the focus has shifted to the people that don't know, the people that you guys keep talking about, your family, your neighbors, your colleagues, your sons, your daughters, those people that constantly give you a hard time about how you are conspiracy theorists and they are, just separating themselves from you because they think you are nuts and they think I am nuts and a scam artist and all this stuff. It's time for them. And you know what's really funny, and I don't give this person a lot of credit when I speak about them, but I'm about to because he nailed it. I remember right after the inauguration, the fake inauguration of Joe Biden, the fake inauguration of the fake Joe Biden, which is just bizarre to think we live in this world, but we do. So this is reality. Like, it doesn't get any more real than that. The fake inauguration, it didn't happen, of the fake Joe Biden. It wasn't him. Where, sometimes, like, it just hits me like it just did live, so you see my reaction. Like, what the hell is going on? Like, it wasn't a real inauguration, but everybody thinks it was, but it wasn't. And then the guy that got inaugurated wasn't really the guy that he was. So we inaugurated a fake guy.
People know people that were at the inauguration and watched it happen. I know soldiers that were there on details for the inauguration. Soldiers that were called not only for like security outside, but soldiers that were literally inside the inauguration and watched it happen. A fake would know a fake. There you go.
Where do we live? Like, what is this? This is like science fiction. It's so unbelievably far-fetched.
This is science fact, Phil.
Like this, but we are. Anyway, I remember right after that fake inauguration of the fake Joe Biden that this person, 107, said, we're probably not going to start to see things happen until April. I remember he said that. I'm thinking to myself, I don't think we're going to be able to wait that long. And he meant April of 21, right? And when he was asked why that's the time frame. Now, not that Juan's in control of that time frame, because he's not, just like I'm not. But when Juan was asked why that time frame is the time frame.
So now he's pitching 107.
He said, well, not many people know about the election fraud yet. And then I thought to myself, if that's the true reasoning, now I didn't know if I believed this guy or not, right? He had a nice story and some mystery behind who he was at the time and whatever. But I'm thinking to myself, if more people need to know about the election fraud, how is that going to get done by April? That's only 2-3 months from now. Because it was already the end of January when he said this. This is right after the fake inauguration of the fake Joe Biden. So when we get to April, what are you going to do in such a short period of time? You're going to do, that's when the rumor started about the EBS happening. We're going to run 3 8-hour consecutive tapes, consecutive videos.
What the hell? Where the hell did that just? Oh, somebody played it. I thought I opened a fucking app or a website or started playing on a website. I'm over here looking through websites. Somebody fucking played it. Oh, Jesus.
Showcasing all we were talking about people that were being recorded.
This is before Phil even knew that he was involved in Q. So he was watching other people.
Military plane rides after they were detained and arrested. Videotaped recordings, videotaped confessions. That's when those rumors started going. But I'm thinking to myself, in the absence of the EBS, in the absence of the mainstream media somehow doing a complete 180 and actually reporting the truth, that's not going to happen by April. Guess what? It didn't. It didn't happen by April. And here we are now in May, 2 years later. That's how long it took to get that many people woken up. Now, one more thing that Juan said when he was pressed on why do we have to wait until April, and then obviously...
Oh, it's working now. It's working now.
I'm a little bit drunk.
I'm on a boat, motherfucker. Don't you ever forget it. That lady is so nice, so is her breasticles. Her hang-me-downs, and I don't even know how to thank her.
Nothing happened. Well, lots of things happened, but obviously the big story didn't come out by the end of April. Juan was asked, well, how many people need to know? The people that know are the ones that need to know. They're the ones in a position to do something. Trump should have acted on this prior to the fake inauguration of the fake Joe Biden. This could have been done without waking anybody up. Wake them up afterwards. Arrest, detain, take names, ask questions after. That's what everybody's response was. One said no. One said the minimum, the very minimum that the white hats are willing to accept before the military acts and starts all the things that I just mentioned, from detainees to tribunals to EBS and everything else. The main thing that they wanted and their highest goal was 70%. They needed the country to know and be totally on board with the fact that that election that just happened in November of 2020 was fraudulent. Guess what? We just hit that threshold. We're at 72 and climbing, and we have half we have half of the Democrats that think their own party stole the election. We have finally made it to a major, major hurdle that was, you could say how ridiculous you think it is that the white hats needed that many people to believe that there was fraud, but they were totally 100% unwilling to start a civil war. And we're going to do it. They were not going to act unless they were 100% certain that this would be as smooth as possible. Guys, I don't know about you, but every person that I talk to, the cool guys.
Are you saying now they are? Hold on.
Melissa Williams cheered X500.
Are you sure about that?
You sure about that?
Are you sure about that?
You
Release
sure
the
about
Kraken.
that?
I'm sure about it.
You sure about
You
that?
sure about that?
You sure about that?
Thank you, Melissa G. Williams. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. So is he saying they are going to start a civil war, or now because he believes that most people believe it, if they take action, it wouldn't start a civil war? I was confused in that.
3 people that I never met until I was out here in Havasu over the last few days. Pool guys, random people that I'll be talking to at a car wash or a grocery store or whatever. They'll see my Trump shirt, or they'll see my, whatever hat or whatever I'm wearing. Or if at all politics ever come up, I'm the first to say, yeah, that's not really Joe Biden. I mean, you look at him, just look at him. Doesn't look like him at all. Look at his old pictures, look at now, and don't tell me it's 10 years of aging. It's not. I'm not born yesterday. Like, I know you think, or maybe not you, but I know a lot of people think that it's so hard to install a president of the United States, or any country for that matter, and claim that the guy that he's representing is him, but it's not, like a fake, like a body double. The movie Dave. Don't you ever saw the movie Dave? This is exactly what it was about. President of the United States, his name was Dave something, I don't know. And the guy was a terrible, terrible president.
The movie Dave, got it.
He died. And then they brought in this identical double, who wasn't related to the president or anything. They brought him in and he ran the country. No one knew it wasn't him because he looked identical. Now this Biden guy, he doesn't even look anything close to identical. He's not even close. He's completely somebody else. From his ears to his earlobes to his facial features, the size of his forehead, his hairline, his teeth, everything about him. Literally everything. The way he acts, the way he walks. And people now know. Everybody I talk to knows. I don't run into people anymore that just say, you're nuts. Everybody's looking at me now like...
Then you must not be running into the right people, because there's tons of people who think you're fucking nuts.
Kind of knew what you were talking about 3 years ago, didn't you? Yeah, I did. And so did you. Those of you that held this line as long as you've held it, you did your part. You didn't buy into their bullshit about you're a conspiracy theorist and you're ruining the family and go talk to your children, they deserve you, and all that shit. You stood your ground because it was the right thing to do, number one. Number two, you knew you were right about it. You knew it. No one was going to convince you that you were wrong. You weren't going to let them do that. And you know what that did? By you holding that line and by you refusing to bow down to what the media told you, by you refusing to get that vaccine. The vaccine alone, you resisted a $4 trillion multimedia, mainstream multimedia advertising campaign.
Like, I'm finding all kinds of different polls that would dispute what that Rasmussen poll said. So here's like, how confident are you across the country that votes will be accurately cast and counted in this year's election? Very confident, somewhat confident, not too confident, or not confident at all. And it used to be higher. So back in 2006, it was like 75%, which 2006 was a long time before Trump or any of this shit. Which right now it's well, in October of 2022, it's 63%. Believed that it was they said they were very confident or somewhat confident that votes would be accurately cast and counted in the election. Like, I'm finding all kinds of polls that dispute it already, and I've just been looking for just a couple minutes. That's what I've been doing over the screen over here. I don't know if I believe that. Like, I don't know if I believe that at all.
You resisted it. You didn't get that vaccine. And you stood by people like me, not only me, but people like me, and much more importantly than people like me, you stood by the truth. And for that, I applaud you. Because by doing that, you woke up, you caused people within your own family, within your friend circle, within your work circle, you caused people to start.
51% of people polled think that Fox News said shit about the 2020 election that was untrue. 51% of people.
Start looking into things further because you refused to back down. You wouldn't back down, so they're like, there's no way this person is that nuts. I have to look into this a little more. And then guess what? They didn't tell you. They didn't tell you. But guess what? They started looking into things a little bit more. They did creep onto my channel. That's why my audience continues to grow. 16,340 people watching right. I'm sorry, 16,340.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Phildo. You messed up, bro. You messed up, bro. 16,000. Oh, I mean 16 million. 16 million, guys.
Onto my channel. That's why my audience continues to grow. I have 16,340 people watching right. I'm sorry, 16,340,000 people watching right now.
That was a very, very, very exact number that ended without any zeros until you realize you misspoke. Uh-oh. I have 16,340 people watching right now. I'm sorry, 16,340,000. I didn't see those other zeros. Uh-oh.
16 million people. Almost 17 million people.
Look how flustered he looks. Hold on, after he does it.
16,340,000 people watching right now.
He's turning red already. In front of your eyes, he's turning red. Even his ears. Look how hard he swallowed. You liar! You're lying! You're lying. Look how hard he fucking swallows.
I have to look into this a little more. And then guess what? They didn't tell you. They didn't.
Those are like, okay, look, all these swallows right here he's doing are like, they're all vocal. They're small movements of his Adam's apple. Watch his Adam's apple.
There's no way this person is
short movements, small movements, almost like a twitch. It's never going the full length. Watch it.
They didn't tell you.
You can see his Adam's apple going, right?
They did creep onto my channel. That's why my audience continues to grow.
All right, now watch after he says 16,000, I mean 16 million.
I have 16,340 people watching right. I'm sorry, 16,340,000 people watching right now. 16 million people.
Right here.
16 million people.
Ah!
Why does that number continue to grow? Because
you're a liar. That's why.
Share my stuff and anyway.
You're a liar. Your whole face is turning red. Your whole goddamn face is turning red, and your Adam's apple is doing some weird, slowed down, deliberate fucking strokes up and down the front of your throat.
They don't hear that. But guess what? They remembered the link. And after they started to realize that you can't be that nuts.
Hey, you pussies. Why don't you come bring it at me?
Thank you for the donation. They're more than even if it does mess up the YouTube ad revenue, it's way more than I'd make on YouTube ad revenue anyways.
They realized that you stood your ground for as long as you did.
All 16,347. I mean 16 billion.
They started looking into it more and they woke up. You did that. I bet you the average person right now, their awake-o-meter is.
That's right. He sounds like the red angry bird. He looks like the red angry bird. I used to have it as a sound I downloaded. I don't know if we still have it. Hold on. I know it's not on my thing, my stream deck right now because they all reset somehow. But let's see if we still have it. I need to add it back, don't I? There it is. Nobody heard it because I got it muted. Hold on. There he is. Yeah, I need to add that again.
5 people each. On average, you probably woke up 5 people. Now, some of us have woken up millions. Maybe I've woken up millions. But on average, for a follower, for a viewer like you, I bet you it's been about 5. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's double that, triple that, or 10 times that. I don't know. But 5 is good. Why? Because we're at 72%. I'm so proud of you guys. I can't even put into words. I can talk about this for the next 3 hours just to finally emphasize the point of how proud I am of each and every one of you for holding that line and for standing by this cause. Because it is the only cause that matters. Nothing else matters.
That freaked me out again. God, that's loud. God, that's loud. Thank you very much. It is corn. It's a big lump with knobs. It has the juice. It has the juice. Couldn't imagine a more beautiful thing. Hold on, I'm trying to fix this. Let's see. Phil angry bird. That ought to work. How loud should it be? 100%. Let's fuck it. Let's wreck some eardrums. That's not too bad. I got it on a button now. We got her.
Thing that matters.
16 million.
Say what you want about Starbucks, but those things are good. Those refreshers. Can't get it with lemonade though. If you get it with lemonade, it's way too sweet. You get it with water with the fruit put in there, so good. That's strawberry one, I think.
Oh, no sugar. Phil doesn't consume sugar because he's on some Indian doctor's gut cleanse.
Strawberry acai. Refresher. I really don't like Starbucks, Cabal, whatever, but those drinks are just great. So, between now and around June 20th, you're going to start to see a heavy campaign of wake up to the remaining 28%. That campaign is going to be wildly successful for about half of those people, at which the White Hats believe that the number is going to rise between now and, 30, 40 days from now. They believe the number is going to rise by another roughly 15%, which is going to get us between 85 and 90% of people realizing that this election and this president and this administration is fraudulent. And there's going to be a bunch of ways that they do this, which I'm not at liberty to talk about, but I could tell you that major events are coming to wake up the rest of those 28%. That's going to happen between now and June 20th. And by the end of July, ladies and gentlemen, the acceleration of this conclusion is going to be in full force. You are looking at tribunals, arrests first, of course, tribunals, quick tribunals. You ever wonder why Trump was talking about quick trial?
Why? Tell us why. Because it seems like it's kind of hard to get a quick trial and a thorough trial with all the evidence that someone looked into, that someone observed.
In the middle of
Don's over on Rhinos.
Well, I think Fiesta's are. It's fun.
I said, Don, I missed you, best friend.
Rhino just posted something. Rhino Nation 8.
He's so drunk. So for some reason, Rhino's not on the stream. It's only Don. Hear those ice cubes, baby? Oh, God. Dondo. I gotta get back to Phil.
Oh, well, in China, they have a quick trial. That's why there's no drug problem. Because if you get caught with drugs or you get caught...
Let you be falsely accused of a crime. Or just accused of a crime that you should be able to beat because you're saying you're innocent and the state's saying you're guilty. And then rush it. Right? That's the thing you want in a trial. To keep it fair, you want it as fast as fucking possible. No fucking appeals. No investigation. No discovery. No witnesses. Guilty.
Using, or you get caught rape or child sex, you're in a week. You're arrested, charged, trial, in jail. Decision. Just like that in a week. So everyone's like, oh, shit. Like there's no, let's push it off 6 months to the preliminary hearing and da-da-da-da-da. They don't do that in China. That's why they don't have a drug problem in China.
They absolutely do have a drug problem in China.
Trump talked about quick trial so many times in his rallies. And everyone's like, why is he talking about quick trial? Why is he mentioning what China has enacted as a policy? Is he just relating it to a
Because he's obsessed with a strong unilateral leader and several tenets that purport towards like some very not so good geopolitical systems or political systems, I guess. He's obsessed with them.
You know, a campaign promise such as I'm going to stop fentanyl from pouring into our country and whatever. He was talking about quick trial for these criminals, for the deep state criminals that are about to go to a military tribunal. And that's going to be fast. So a lot of you that are out there thinking right now, oh, there's all of these people. How many indictments did you say?
Literally, like China tries to hide its drug problems. China doesn't want the world to know that it's got illicit drug problems. So they try to hide it. They try to downplay it. They try to silence people.
Were sealed, Phil? 500,000, 700,000, 900,000 indictments sealed. How are you going to get out that many people in court? The courts can't handle that much. Okay, watch. It's going to be 2-3 days. Charge, arraigned, trial. Bring them in, bring them out, bring them in, bring them out. One after another, after another, after another. And there are centers that are set up. So another part of the intel drop. There are centers set up in various different black sites around the world for this. Everyone looks at Gitmo for tribunals. Everyone looks at Washington for tribunals. Everybody look at...
Dude, if I get accused of some shit, I want it to take however fucking long it takes to figure out the goddamn truth, especially if I didn't do it. I want nothing quick about it.
There's so many sites that this is going to happen in. It just depends on where that criminal is from. That part of the world, that part of flat earth that the criminal resides in. There are black sites over there, and there are hundreds of them. And there will be military judges. I shouldn't even say military judges, because when you think of military, you probably think of the United States military, if that's where you live, or you know the Royal Military or whatever, or depending on what part of the world you live in. But
the Royal Military. That's what I was thinking about.
It's not even so much that, it's the alliance military. I talked about the world alliance that has been in place now for a while between Donald Trump, who runs a good portion of our territories.
I was actually thinking about a drag queen a drag show on a special Salute the Troops nights. That's what I was thinking about, that military.
If you want to call them, Putin, who's running another good portion of them out in his area of the world, and of course President Xi from China, who's running a good portion of that part of the world. They haven't...
Tribunals in the military aren't specifically quick either. Like, you said a long time in fucking Leavenworth, you still have discovery, you still have depositions, you still have, you know, all the evidence has to be submitted, blah, blah, blah. It's just that the people are, like... Whenever there's a criminal or civil trial, the judge has to really break down the tenets of the law and what they have to meet to be found guilty or innocent, why this matters, what the law is about, what its intention was. If it's been discussed by the Supreme Court, he has to break those down. If there's been appeal rulings on it, like, you have to know everything about the law. The quickness is with the military is that the people they used are all very well versed in military law. And there is no gray area in military law. It is black and white. This is wrong, this is right, here's the penalty. This is wrong, this is right, here's the set of penalties. This is wrong, this is right. There is no intention of the law. There is no, well, there's these many tenets you have to meet, blah, blah, blah. And everybody around it knows it. Okay? You get a fucking book of Uniform Code of Military Justice. You know about a lot of them, especially if you've ever had run-ins with like Article 15s and shit. And the people that are involved in that know about it, and that's what they try.
Military. That is the only military that matters right now. Not so much the United States military in the world. They have another good portion of them out in his area of the world, and
a collective world military.
Running a good portion of that.
I'm sure all your fans that always think that NATO's taken over in Texas love the fact that there's some type of secretive world military we don't know about.
They have a collective military. That is the only military that matters right now. Not so much the United States military and those, yeah, they're a big part of it, of course they are. But it's a world military. It's kind of like NATO, but just on steroids.
By the way, they're doing over the next few months, they're doing a big exercise down in Texas. So prepare for the Q-tards. Remember when Jade Helm came through and they had like NATO countries down there? They had this big exercise down in Texas because there's a lot of unoccupied land. They had a lot of troop movements and people were taking pictures of trains saying, oh my God, we're being invaded, concentration camps. And Here we go. Get ready. Buy ammo. All that shit. There's another one going on.
Just a completely blown up version of NATO. And that military is going to be the one that's responsible for.
Yeah, they could have the ceremony or not have the ceremony at any time. It's when is the legal paperwork done, is what I would think. I'm not positive, but that's what I'd think.
The takedown. Remember Q talked about mass arrests, detainments, tribunals. He wasn't just making that stuff up as he went along. It wasn't just for entertainment purposes. That's what everybody wants to tell you, though, right? Oh, it's a psyop. It's a CIA psyop. Let me tell you something. Q was created to take down the CIA and the FBI. But
sure they were.
CIA. So that's my intel for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. You are so close.
Me and Mariah had a consecrating the marriage ceremony. A player has reached headquarters level 5. Bingo. That puts us up to, we need one more on that, and then it'll roll over and give us a bigger number. Thank you, though. Whoever just reached level 5 in my link, thank you for that.
And I got to be honest with you, like, I don't know of any events that could...
Do you guys remember when there was pictures of the Chinese army up in Canada? I know I've covered this, but if you've not seen every one of my shows, you might not know this. So a guy that owns a bed and breakfast took a picture of what appeared to be people in military outfits. They looked Asian, and they were running in formation in upper or in lower Canada, right near the border somewhere. That picture went viral, and people started spreading it as Asian troops, Chinese troops on the border. What that actually was a very well-known, at least in China, MLM. They were all female. So someone was able to finally get a high quality and blow it up. They were all female. And they weren't official military uniforms. They look like them. But it is like this crazy fucking militant style MLM. Like 7K's an MLM. This is an MLM where you like sell to your friends and family, where it's all about discipline and leadership, and they go on these weird retreats. And the guy who took the original photo was actually the guy who owned the bed and breakfast that they were staying at, and they were on a retreat. Well, then people started looking into this MLM because Q-Tars didn't believe any of this anyway. Started looking at this MLM, and they've had several members die, like doing like crazy stunts, like trust falls over caverns and just crazy shit. They've killed several of their members. Like, they're so strict about this leadership and discipline and blah, blah, blah. They've killed some of their members on their outings. And it was a bunch of Chinese women playing army so they could be better business leaders in their fucking LuLaRoe business or whatever the fuck it was. That is a mind-blowing story. But they wanted to cover it up with like, Joe Biden's got China up there at the border. If he wins, he's going to tell him to come down through Detroit. Okay.
Stop this. There's nothing that I see currently. Now, keep in mind, again, I'm not in charge of the plan, but I say this...
You're good, Cubs fan. Thank you.
Knowing all of the inside stuff that I know and knowing all of the other stuff that's already out there, and when you combine those two and use logic and reason, there's nothing out there right now, once I use that formula I just mentioned, that could...
You want a hint? If you're stuck because you don't have enough like upgrade juice or whatever, the green serum stuff, if you raid even low-level layers, they have thousands and thousands and thousands. Also, when you click on, okay, so when you first go and you click heroes, and then click in the top right-hand corner where it shows you how much green juice you got, sometimes the green juice you got on raids and in battle is not in the hero tab. When you click on it, it'll ask you if you want to open it in your warehouse and use it. So you click on it, and it'll say, you click use now, and then you go to the warehouse and you click auto use. And like there was like 50,000 of them by the time I figured that out.
Alter the path of what happens next in terms of like a delay or something that, you know, really stops everybody. Their ability to kill mass quantities of people.
Did he say a 9/11 event?
Q was created to run along. It wasn't just for entertainment purposes. That's what everybody wants to tell you, though, right? Oh, it's a psyop. It's a CIA psyop. Let me tell you something. Q was created to take down the CIA.
I feel like a lot of people believe in it and could credit it to the CIA because it is so addictive. I think just a lot of stuff lined up that made it COVID. Everybody was locked in their home. Everybody mistrusts the governments. All their friends are involved in it. Joe Biden's not a super likable guy, but a lot of people find him more likable than Trump. A lot of time at home and paranoia and wondering what the government, unprecedented. I mean, when's the first time we've ever fucking locked down for a disease? You know, there was crazy stuff going on at the time. And that's when it exploded from like this kind of far right fringe group to like fucking almost mainstream. Like it was crazy. It got way out of hand how many people were doing it and bringing their own narratives in about dimensional travel and going to 5D and ascending to this and med beds. All that shit came after. None of that was ever mentioned by like Q.
And the FBI, but certainly the CIA. So that's my intel for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. You are so close. And I gotta be honest with you, like, I don't know of any events that could stop this.
Nothing will stop us. Nothing can stop what's coming.
Now keep in mind, again, I'm not charged with the plan, but I say this via my own opinion. But knowing all of the inside stuff that I know and knowing all of the other stuff that's already out there, and when you combine those two and use logic and reason, there's nothing out there right now, once I use that formula I just mentioned, that could alter the path of what happens next. In terms of like a delay or something that, you know, really stops everybody. Their ability to kill mass quantities of people doesn't exist.
The intel is somebody that everybody would know was killed because a white hat was stroking a black hat by the ball sack. And they killed somebody that everybody would know, but I can't tell you because then everybody would know. And also, we're so close. Things are happening. Getting close. Also, Nick Swick, nothing can stop what is coming. Oh, and use code PHIL next time you check out a Dr. Guthrie's gut cleanse.
They don't have that power. The 5G towers took that power away once we got that under control.
Good deal.
The vaccinations, although it did kill a great amount of people, have now been, for the most part, stopped.
I think most Q-tards have just replaced all the COVID deaths with vaccination deaths.
Which is wild.
I can't see anything standing in the way of what I just said tonight.
At one time, it was like we were having a 9/11 like every so many days of American citizens dying.
Would I be wrong? Of course I could be wrong. Could be wrong.
Most of them had like other conditions, right? Comorbidities, overweight, or you know, had a breathing disorder, or an immunodeficiency, something like that. But still,
I'm not a prophet. I've never claimed.
CPAPs.
I don't see the future. I see
a bike day
plan that's in place.
Good Lord.
But I don't write that plan. I just see it. And then,
are you going to ride on the back pegs, or are you going to set up on the handlebars?
I've been given a task, as I have for the last 2.5 years, 3 years, to wake up as many people.
3 years later, absolutely nothing's happened. You're right. The Erroneous Podcast. Literally, we've got recordings of him saying, "Oh, yep, by December this year, we're going to have Nasara. Trump's going to be back." We've got recordings of him saying Joe Biden will never be inaugurated. Trump will be back by then. We've got recordings of him saying, "Oh, well, May 4th, March 4th. That's why the hotels are so expensive. Duh, Trump's a businessman."
I could. And I've completed that task.
3 years, nothing. 3 years, nothing. I'm afraid the people that break away are not enthused now to vote for anybody, much less Donald Trump. They feel like they've been led along. They feel like they've been lied to. They feel like they've been led astray, and people misused their ignorance, or they don't want to admit they've been lied to. Instead, they just want to bottle up and not do anything. They don't want to vote. They don't want to go out. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to do anything. I think it's doing a large disservice to a lot of people.
The plan that's in place to get to the future. I can't see anything standing in the way of what I just said tonight. Could I be wrong? Of course I could be wrong. Could be wrong. I'm not a prophet. I've never claimed to be a prophet. I don't see the future. I see the plan that's in place to get to the future. But I don't write that plan. I just see it. And then I've been given a task, as I have for the last 2.5 years, 3 years, to wake up as many people as I could. And I've completed that task. Now, my work doesn't end here, of course. I have a lot more to do for the finality of the conclusion. I don't know if that's really a way to say it. The finality of the conclusion? I guess it could be, right? I don't know. Whatever. That's how I'm going to do it. I have more work to do in the finality of the conclusion. That's how my Mensa brothers would say it, right, trolls? Idiots. Anyway.
Well, you're the one who said you were a member of Mensa, And then you said your mom ordered a test for you or some shit.
I'm excited. For the first time in several months, I'm excited. I think we are in for a hell of a year. I think all of the things that we talked about are going to start to hit you right in the face. I think all of us.
If you'd have backed me up to the 2020 election, let's even say the inauguration, and you would have told me that regular plain people, a goddamn solar salesman from Nevada and a real estate agent from Pennsylvania, and this people are going to fucking drive this narrative until they've made themselves multi-millionaires, I wouldn't have believed you. I don't think, even if I wanted to grift back then, I wouldn't have believed it enough. I mean, I guess eventually I would have saw the numbers. Like if I'd have just started, I'd have saw the numbers pick up, and then I'd have found a way to monetize that audience. But damn.
All of us are going to appreciate those things that happen more than we would have if it happened earlier. I think the delay in getting all the way to 2023 for this to cultivate, for this to conclude, is going to make the reward so much sweeter once the reward comes. And I know we've lost people along the way. I know we've lost our businesses along the way. I know we've lost family along the way. I know we've lost support along the way, jobs. But I believe that each one of those things are going to be, I know that each one of those things are going to return to us in spades.
Where's the Q phone? I want to see it.
A lot of you mad because I buy property? You know, I had a $2 million house out there. Now I got a $3.5 million one in St. Thomas, and I got, another one out in Vegas, and I got another $3.5 million house out here in Havasu. You mad because of that?
Lots of people do, Nurse Julie.
Those things are my reward for helping us get to where we are. And once it concludes, this is God's work. It's God's work.
Phil, bro, if there's a hell, I know who's going to be there with me. I know exactly who's going to be there with me. We got to become friends. We're probably going to be cellmates or something. Okay? How could this possibly be your reward for doing what you do when in reality you monetize you weren't paid by the White Hats. You weren't paid by Trump. You didn't buy these things from the stolen money from the cabal or seized money or Vatican gold. You got a following. You monetized it. You made all this money, and then you started buying everything inside. But that would still all stand if you were 1,000% lying. You can't claim this as your reward for doing a certain thing, because if we just said, okay, here's Phil 100% telling the truth and he made this money. Here's Phil 100% telling a lie and he would have made this money. And then to go on beyond that and say, when this is over, this is God's work. This is God's work. And the blasphemers and the Lord thy God said, Phil, buy a house in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Jesus wept. Thank you.
God put me in this position because I needed to be in this position, and if I excelled at this position, God would reward.
I almost started preaching one time. I don't know if I've ever told that story. I almost started preaching one time. Like, I grew up like super religious, and I had a bunch of uncles that were preaching, and I felt like I was, at the time, I didn't understand like it was pressure. But they kept saying like, I kept getting told stuff like, oh, well, if you have a calling, if the Lord's telling you to do something and you have a calling and you don't do it, you'll be punished for the rest of your life and nothing will go right and blah, blah, blah. And I was young. Like I was probably like 13 or 14 or something. The big thing was like youth preachers or people dedicating their life to ministry at young ages like that. And like these uncles of mine who would like pressure me and be like, oh, well, I don't know, you're pretty smart and you got a good knowledge of the Bible. Why do you think the Lord gave you that knowledge of the Bible? And you're good at memorizing stuff and you're a good presentator. And like I won a 4-H speaking competition, like a public speaking competition. They used that against me. Like it was really bad. And I really felt like their pressure was the same as like God telling me I had to do it. And I didn't want my fucking whole life to be fucked up. You know what I mean? So it was just really weird when I was young.
For the rest of my life. And that is what God has done. This is not because
God told these old people who some complain about not being able to pay their bills and begging for Nasar Gassar. God told these people that the website's going to be down for 3 months and you can't change your payment options. God told them. The Lord thy God.
Excelled at this position, God would reward me for the rest of my life. And that is what God has done. This is not because for helping us get to where we are. And once it concludes, this is God's work. It's God's work. God put me in this position because I needed to be in this position. And if I excelled at this position, God would reward me for the rest of my life. And that is what God has done. This is not because I made good business decisions.
Good thing you met God like 3.5 days ago.
God put me in the positions for these things to fall into my lap if I completed the task that He, not the White Hats, not Trump, not the military, not Putin, not any of them, He needed me to do.
Oh, so all along we've been believing that your friend Ezra Cohen Watnick, who you were college roommates with, but you didn't go to college together, and it was actually CIA summer camp for high school boys where you became a man. All along we thought he instructed you, but it was actually God. Did God make you a man too? Was God at summer camp? Is God slang for a camp counselor?
Combined with some things in my background that some of you may or may not know about, my ability to articulate
don't exist.
My vocal cords.
He does not have any fucking background in anything except for real estate, gas station, subway. That's his entire fucking background. There is not a single fucking shred of evidence that he has any other background in the world. I've even called in fucking favors that I could have used for something meaningful to make sure this motherfucker didn't have no background. Wasted them sons of bitches.
Combined with some things in my background that some of you may or may not know about, my ability to articulate, the way that my voice comes out of my vocal cords, my facial expressions, my awesome wardrobe. Combining all of those things put me into this position to be the perfect, in his eyes, not in my eyes, to be the perfect deliverer of information to you. And maybe
wouldn't the perfect deliverer of information to us be someone without, even if you're saying it's not real and you only pled guilty because your dying grandpa met you on a park bench and there was a dove that landed on his forehead and it's whatever. Wouldn't it be something with that? Wouldn't it be somebody without that background so they people couldn't question their background, so they wouldn't be a social pariah outside of the QAnon movement? Wouldn't that have been better? Or since you're living this fake persona that doesn't even exist, and supposedly you would have been away at CIA camp or NSA camp while this was going on for the years that you worked there, wouldn't it have been better if they just removed that from your background or it didn't happen at all?
I got some rewards earlier on because of my ability to do that, but they're coming for you too. They are coming. Gold, silver, real estate. If you are not into one of those things and you are still invested in heavily invested in the stock market, whether it's through a 401k or an IRA, we have a solution for that. Goldquiz.com. Get it out of there. Get it out of there. Diversify that portfolio and get it into silver or gold. You could roll over a 401k or an IRA to gold and silver.
And God lets Phil have 5%.
Premium coins, not crap coins that they'll roll over to. What are you going to roll over into bullion for 25?
Please. Yes, roll it over into bullion. If the market collapses, the markup for collector items, that collector premium, is the first thing that goes down. Just go research that. If you have collectibles, antiques, video games, collectible coins, collectible stamps, collectible fucking handkerchiefs, or collectible tiny little spoons from all the states, in a bad market, they become a lot closer to zero. The premium on collectibles collapses. But in a very, very, very good market, especially with items that relate to like nostalgia, like video games or tennis shoes or something people can remember. I could never afford this as a kid. Now I got money and I want to buy it. That collector premium shoots through the fucking roof.
$5 an ounce? They're going to give you premium coins that are going to go up even more than bullion will go up.
Please go get bullion.
Get your money me out of there. Guys, I'm only introducing stuff to you that's going to help you in the future. Your time is coming. I know you've endured a lot, but it's coming. It's
The
coming.
reason bullion is that good of investment, especially when the dollar may dip or dive or whatever the fuck you want to call it, is because it typically stays steady. People, banks, industries don't go invest in gold because they think it's going to shoot through the fucking roof. They go invest in gold because there's some type of issue with liquid assets, and they think that gold will at least hold the value better. And then when liquid assets come back, they can liquefy. They can sell their shit.
So you better buckle up. I know I've said that many times before, but get ready. Your time is coming. I know you've endured a lot, but it's coming, and it's coming quick. So you better buckle up. I know I've said that many times before, but get ready. Get ready.
Get ready. Ready, Freddy.
Our time has come. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Be on the lookout for the silver.
What was that? A salute?
I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in.
Bill, you messed up the salute, bro. First of all, you claim you were never in the military, so there is no salute. There is no NSA, CIA salute. Second of all, look at this motherfucking hand placement.
I love you guys.
Drill sergeants around the world just got a migraine at the base of their fucking skull, the top of their spine. Instantly hands straightened out into fucking command hands. I want that. There's a very, very, very jealous small town sheriff who's looking for a deputy just like this. And don't think I won't put in a resume for you. In a heartbeat. You pass a background check? You carry a firearm?
Thank you for tuning in. Be on the lookout for the silver coin winners from my poll a couple weeks ago. And I'll see you guys very soon. I plan to go live very soon. With some more stuff that I anticipate to get over the next couple days. So as soon as I have that information, I will go live again and we'll go from there. I love each and every one of you guys, and I thank each and every one of you guys throughout the day, every day. And I thank God for putting me in front of you guys, because you guys are everything to me. My audience, my followers, my subscribers,
I hate my penis with both hands.
Friends are everything to me. You've changed my life, and I hope very soon I get to help change yours.
How fitting he cut off helping you out. That was weird. He talked all about his life being changed. When he talks about changing your life in some way, shape, or form, it gets cut off right at the end. Doesn't quite get there, does it? Jesus fucking Christ, Phil. This is God's work. God gave me a house in the U.S. Virgin Islands. God made it to where I'll be taken care of for the rest of my... God did it. God made you old bitches dumb. And then God said, give up that money, old bitches. Jesus Christ. That was a wild video. He's getting wilder and wilder. Damn. I don't know. Is he trying to ramp it up because he knows what's coming out in the new court cases? Who the fuck knows? But that was crazy, dude. That was crazy. Jesus Christ. What did we just watch? Chat, thoughts. How do you feel about it? What are we thinking? No, not that. Sorry, I'm checking something. No new court documents pending or anything. That's what I was looking for, to see if anything had been filed on either case. Jesus, that was wild, dude. It's fucking wild. Dude, come out here and say, God gave me your money. God said, let there be wealth. And he saw that it was good. And he gave it to Phil. And Phil's bank account was void and without form. And God said, let them bitches roll. And blue hairs came out from underneath the mountains, from atop the mountains, from the cellars and the basements of their son-in-law's home. And their Social Security checks flowed like honey from heaven. This is crazy, dude. that was wild. Like that was a roller coaster of a trip. So basically, the white hats have been jerking off the black hats. Someone took a money shot, dead. Everybody would know who it is, but I can't tell you who it is because everybody would know. Because everybody would know, but I can't tell you because everybody would know. Also, things are happening. It's getting close. Also, God gave me my money. God's my drug dealer. And my drug is greed. Wild. Guys, support the show while we're offline. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for the support. Thank you for hanging out with me. Support the show while we're offline at coldbeer.fund. Also, follow me on my social media sites. That was a pretty good show. What we at? Almost 5 hours. Thank you for joining us. I might start streaming more often in the day. I want to play some video games, some stuff to do. This is the weekend coming up. Yeah, come hang out with us this weekend. I've got Patreon shows planned, but I'll probably do. Damn it, I'm about choked on my own spit. I got Patreon shows planned, but I probably also do some other stuff, some video games. There's a new video game I think Bullshiffer wants to play together. It is a vampire video game about them taking over an island. It's pretty cool. It's called Redfall. What else? Play the game. I got to do a sponsored stream tomorrow. Please play the game. You can use my link. It's on my Facebook. I'll post it again. But it is on my Facebook. It's pinned on Rumble. You have to use my link for it to count, so I don't even want to tell you the name of the game. Just go to the link. I'm posting it again on Facebook currently. It is it's on my Twitter. It's on my YouTube community page. It's in the description of this YouTube video. It'll be a pinned comment in this YouTube video. Play that game. Get your headquarters to at least level 5. That's the minimum. There's other goals. If you want to know what those are, you can watch some other content or just ask me. But at least get the minimum portion of it. That would be great. Yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Thanks for hanging out with me, staying around with me and chilling, I guess. Sorry for my emotional outburst. I couldn't take it anymore. But thanks, guys. I do greatly appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Without you guys, I wouldn't have the office, wouldn't have the stream. I wouldn't have all you people, right? I might still be streaming, but it wouldn't be nearly as good talking to myself. So thank you guys. I do greatly appreciate it. And I hope you guys know that. Yeah, thank you all. And I'll see everybody on the next one. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And see you guys sometime this weekend. Come hang out with us. Come watch a video game stream. They're not that bad, even if you're an old person. I know everybody's like, I don't watch video games. Well, it's still fun. We still joke. We still laugh. We still have a good time. It's still a pretty good time. So thank you guys. We'll see everybody on the next one. Have a good night. And I appreciate y'all. Go to coldbeer.fun. Support the show. That's my new intro to my music. Have a good one, guys. The video game streams are really fun. They're more relaxed and laid back. We make a lot more jokes. Sometimes we even look up and watch videos while we're doing it. I don't know why everybody's so against them. Like, I have like a tenth of my audience when I play a video game. But, well, we have fun. If you like to laugh and hang out and enjoy company, I mean, it's pretty fun. We had about 236 million viewers right now, all tuning in to see this. Amazing. Wish you could have been there, guys. Join Patreon if you want extra content. There's a lot of it out there. I started uploading to YouTube and Rumble just in case my YouTube ever gets taken down. So there's that. What else? I think that's about it. We own you. That's it. I own you, motherfucker. Don't do anything Jaybird would suddenly do at night for some reason. That's a good one.